This is Hip Hop Talks. Unfortunately, we're starting off on a more somber tone. We want to send our thoughts, prayers, and condolences for those already lost to the fires going on in LA and the surrounding areas right now. Sean and I were just talking behind the scenes about how we both, from his travels and from my time living out there, have actually seen the fires occur and how they occur. It's a very, very serious thing and a very serious matter. Make sure you're checking on your loved ones out there. Any thoughts, AG or Sean, you all want to share starting off?
Just prayers up. It's a scary and it's a dangerous situation. You know what I mean? It happens way too often. You know what I mean? So definitely sending prayers to everybody out there.
Indeed. Echo. Yeah. Prayers to the families out there who are impacted.
Yeah. Make sure you click like, subscribe, share to our page. We're growing as usual. We started off the new year strong with episode 50. Welcome to episode 51. Let's go ahead and get into some things, gentlemen. LiAngelo Ball, that is. I do need to clarify that. It's not like he's as popular as his two other siblings. He's released a single on YouTube called Tweaker. I mean, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but I do try, in the new year to reflect on any behavior that I may have had that I can maybe correct in the new year. And so I'm going to deflect to you, AG, about this so that I'm just not utterly disrespectful right now. Go ahead. Have a good time.
I listened to it once.
Oh. You're better than me.
It went viral, and
it did.
That's about all positive I would have to say about it. But hey, man, real talk though. His two brothers are in the NBA. His career didn't quite take the path that they thought it was going to take because of certain incident, and that kind of derailed his NBA hopes. And then he even got a second chance, but it still didn't pan out. Getting cut from the from the NBA, because I believe he was on the G League team for the Hornets at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So sometimes you got to find another avenue of hustle. And I'm just trying.
What are you doing, man?
I'm just trying to be positive, man.
What are we doing?
It's a new year. I told Sean I was going to be a better person, and
so you lied to Sean to start the new
year.
Right,
you lied. That was a lie.
That was lied to start the year. That sounds about right.
Right. You gonna kick out the new year with a lie?
Nah, man, it's pretty trash if I'm being honest. But some people like it. It would be viral if some people didn't like it. So more power to them. But nah, that was pretty trash. I wish I could have got those few minutes back.
It was.
Yeah. Sean, what you got?
I tried, man, because I wanted to be positive about it too. I didn't want to be indifferent, but it's trash. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my thing. When I listened to the first verse, I immediately went and started listening to the opposite H2O by Drag On. I don't know why. I don't even know why.
Yo, you want to know what? You want to know what? Me and AG, we know what you're doing. We know. No. We know what you just did. This is how we starting off the year.
Drag On should be offended.
That's it. See, most people don't know. That's one of those if you know moments. Like if you know, you know why he's being over. Yo, he was so shady.
Drag to the Dash was going crazy, man. Drag to the Dash.
You want to know what? We have super chats. I don't have time for this shit. We have super chats. 007. What up, 007? Queens get the money. Happy New Year, gentlemen. Looking forward to a big year. I as well, 00. Sorry I haven't been able to hit you back. Had a lot of stuff going on. You and I will be talking very, very soon. Possibly tomorrow, because looks like they're going to shut Atlanta down, which means I'm not going to be able to get into it.
Yeah. Yo, Atlanta getting shut down over 3 inches of snow is soft. I'm sitting down in here in like almost 2 feet of snow since Monday. Like it's crazy here in West Virginia. A whole tree in my driveway, 13 degrees outside, and they about to shut your city down. It's wild.
I remember when I was in 4th grade and the snow started falling outside, and they just put us on the bus and sent us home. Like we ain't calling parents, we ain't telling nobody. Like, oh no, motherfucker, go home.
Nah, bro, it's treacherous conditions here, man. We done got about 20 inches of snow since Monday. It's crazy.
I believe it. You live in the mountains for real. It's mountains. West Virginia's mountainous areas.
I had to lift a big tree stump out of my yard. I was out there like Paul Bunyan, putting the joint on my shoulder, trying to carry it. Yo, man, that joint was wild, man.
AG, the podcast Paul Bunyan. There we go.
That's right. That's right.
Jermaine Johnson with the 199 super chat. If Juvenile get on that last verse of the remix, fire.
That was a hot song. That joint was dope.
Yeah.
Okay. We got more?
Yeah, we got
CJ
more.
the Kid. What up, CJ? Appreciate you. $50 on it, CJ. What up, brother?
Man, appreciate you,
guys
CJ.
are blessed and doing well, fellas. Prayers to the families
out.
out west. Yes, prayers to the families out west indeed, CJ. Thank you for saying that.
Yo, thank you, CJ.
However, Joey's been getting beat up from all corners. I updated Sean, and the Discord is talking. A female NC is going to jump in for the East, apparently. Let's talk. You want to talk about that right quick, gentlemen? We want to kind of like thump that to the back a little bit. Wait.
I think we got that on the dock. So CJ, if you can hold tight, we'll get you on that one. We got that on the dock.
Yeah. We're gonna get to you, CJ.
Yeah.
I would like to say about the LiAngelo song that don't quit your day job. And if this is your day job, find another day job. You suck. The end. Good night. All right. On to somebody doing some more productive things in the hip hop world, or at least in further in the hip hop world, is Lupe Fiasco, guys. Lupe is becoming the first person to actually be a university professor of hip hop at Johns Hopkins University, which is actually having a bachelor's degree in hip hop. Applications are January 24th is when they open up, gentlemen. So I actually think that Lupe is the perfect guy for this job, but I have a more important question to ask the both of you right now. Mm-hmm. Should I apply?
No.
Can you imagine me? Can you imagine me? You don't think I should apply? I was thinking, ooh, I can be one of Lupe's students. I can't wait to go to class and learn from Lupe. It would be so. No.
Yes.
No.
I support it.
Yes.
I support it.
AG.
No.
No. AG.
No. I got to cancel Sean out on that.
Can we put a poll up in the chat? Should Coop apply?
Yes.
To be part of Lupe's class?
How do I do
at Johns Hopkins? Applications open up January 24th. I looked it up.
Please
I looked it up. Applications open up January 24th. Can we put up a poll? I'd like to.
The word is applications. What makes you think you're going to get accepted if you see your name on the list of applications?
It's Coop. How can he tell me no? I could file a discrimination case if that were the case. It's discrimination. Because I'm COW, you want to hate? No. You got to let me in.
COW is nasty.
What do you guys think? What do you guys actually honestly think? I'm serious about that poll for this application though. But what do you guys honestly think about Lupe in this? This is something progressive for hip hop. What do you think?
Prestigious. Mm-hmm. In a word, prestigious, man. Kudos to Lupe. It's a big deal in a lot of ways, and I think it speaks a lot to our art form of hip hop, the fact that it can be taught in the educational system. You know what I'm saying? So mm-hmm. I feel like we've grown as a culture leaps and bounds to the point where, like even Nas is a Harvard fellow and, things like that. So it's like, I remember when I was a kid, people saying hip hop was a fad. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to be around, or it wasn't real music, quote unquote. Now we're being taught in the highest esteemed universities, and we got one of our own at the helm of that. And I think that is, a big deal. And so salute to Lupe for that.
Yeah.
John?
No, I agree. This is a good thing for hip hop. I know Jizzle was actually teaching like a physics class or something like that as well, right?
He taught some sort of physics and like astro. It was like it was some sort of combine class, but physics was at the base of it, I believe. Yes, I believe that.
I could totally see that.
Right, yeah. Through the scientists, mad scientists, man. I hope this opens the door for others. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anybody's talking like that.
I hope this opens the door for other things, though, for other, artists that's qualified, of course, to do things like this at other colleges, institutions, so on and so forth. Because I do think it's an opportunity to educate this new, wave of kids are coming through, not just about hip hop, but just the culture of hip hop. Hip hop music is what it is, but the culture of hip hop is something that needs to be like really just. You don't want it to be a relic. Right, you want it to continue to be vibrant and continue to grow and continue to have a lot of meaning to it. Because I think as we got farther away from hip hop as itself, we came up in the era of b-boy, graffiti, breakdancing, all of those things, rhyming and just having ciphers. We taught each other.
Hold on. I'm okay. So, but see, the perspective changes because even look at look at breakdancing and graffiti and b-boying. Mm-hmm. That was our early childhood. Like that's our super young childhood, like our 4, 5, 6.
Right. Exactly. And you see what they did to it. They took it and they had the Olympics. They had breakdancing in the Olympics. And it was mad cool.
No, that was not breakdancing. That was not breakdancing.
Exactly.
But to your point, it became a relic.
May want to take a break. May want to take a break from putting that in the Olympics, but that wasn't breakdancing.
Right. They commercialize it to the point where it takes away the rawness of it. And if you can have someone like Lupe, other artists out there again who's qualified, maybe they can, continue to keep it vibrant as much as possible. So this is a big win for hip hop.
I think 007 has a couple of prevalent super chats that we need to go through right quick that are prevalent to this conversation. So you get a degree in hip hop, and then what? And then what 6-figure job do you get with a hip hop degree? Fellas, great questions, 007.
Great question. It's funny because we have professors who taught
at you get to host your own podcast. Guess what? You don't need a degree to do that.
You really don't.
Even though we all have degrees.
Yeah, you really don't need it. I don't. That's a good question. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a damn good question.
That's an excellent question.
That's a damn
good
question.
Think about where the journalistic work. Think about the conversation we just had about Elliot and the journalistic integrity of writing and the space that he has to exist in now in the media personality. So what? You're gonna go pay $250,000 for education to get a job as a hip hop writer? Like
right.
In 2028.
Right. Well, what I would think, to answer 007's question, I would hope it would produce more hip hop educators. You know what I'm saying? Because Lupe is already somebody who's stamped and sanctioned as being a hip hop artist, right? But as far as going, to school under that banner, I think you could eventually become an educator in hip hop. I don't know. I mean, you would have to get your teaching degree in conjunction with that. But I mean, I would hope that it would spawn more educators on the subject, because to me, it seems like it's only kind of like going to be a niche thing at certain universities. But, for the ones that graduate from that program, hopefully it could branch out and spawn more educators in the hip hop culture. And then we start to see it in more universities. Now, will that be a 6-figure profession? I don't know. But hopefully it will spawn more jobs in that form.
See, what you don't want to do is go to college and get a job in hip hop that still forces you to sell dope. All right.
That's a fact. Or look at it. Was the North Carolina A&T? We had them on station here last year.
Right.
And they were two hip hop professors.
Oh, the Aggie?
Yep. And
the dude. The dude I get my jewelry from. That's the Aggie. He's an Aggie.
He's an Aggie.
He's Aggie.
Yeah. They have a hip hop course over there. We had 2 professors that taught hip hop, and they came on. They came on to our station head show, and we smoked their boots. Actually, it was embarrassing.
Classic moment.
They probably lost accreditation after that. But nonetheless, they were
Real,
professors.
real spit.
That was real. Like, yeah,
you talked about professors that you know, this world is about building relationships, Sean. And when you talk about inviting people on, and then you talk about live, how you smoke their boots.
I mean, it really happened. I witnessed it.
Lost their accreditation.
What I say, upset college professors, more knowledge than Webster.
Yeah, it was bad.
Lost their accreditation is just like outright disrespectful.
Possibility. If the
It's
dean heard that,
you're gonna stand on business.
That's lost.
But real talk though, shout out to Lupe for finding, you know, because we just talked about rappers having second careers, you know, finding what's next for them in their life if they hang up the mic. Not saying Lupe is hanging up the microphone, but this is an avenue that, you know, nobody else has really traveled. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for finding a second career in this, because like we talked about last episode, the move seems to be getting your own podcast or own media outlet or what have you. No, but Lupe's taking the alternative route.
He's creating a lane. No, he is.
Yeah.
And he deserves props for creating a lane, because it's a lane and people need to pay attention to this move, because this is the power move. It's a lane that when you say it for him, you're like, no, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
It does. And I'm not trying to be funny, but isn't it ironic, like with this moniker, the teacher and stuff like that, this, don't you think this is something that KRS-One like probably should have did years ago?
No, I think somebody like a KRS-One, a Black Thought, a Nas, a Tupac, people that have been spoken about in African American diaspora classes already, like have led up to this moment. There have been building blocks to this moment. Lupe didn't just pop up with this. There has been moments. True. There has been the studying of Tupac's and Nas's. There's been Illmatic being put in Harvard Institute. There's been Tupac's poetry. Lyrics being studied. There's been Lupe at MIT. KRS-One, I believe, taught classes at Harvard. The Jizza teaching physics. So there have been things that have led to this moment. And when you think about, well, who should be hip hop's first professor, like actual professor, to break down the things you see? Because here's the thing about it. Like KRS-One probably is not going to come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. From 10 to 10:50, 11 to 11:50, 12 to 12:50, 1 to 1:50, then go do his office hours, then go gallivant about the camp. No. But Lupe, you can see that for him because he's disciplined and organized and structured like that, with a lot of the same ethos that KRS-One has. KRS-One's like kind of path and ethos is kind of what opens the door for this as well. The things that he's been speaking about educationally in terms of reform necessary and inclusion of us necessary in order for there to be true progress is part of this is the mark of that progress. So it really is like a great moment for hip hop, and shout out to Lupe for that. And I'll see you in class.
That would be funny though. I have one person that I would want to see in this arena, and that's RZA. I would love to, see RZA, teach at the university.
No, we cool on that. Speaking of which,
okay.
Wow,
cool on
that's
that.
disrespectful, man.
No, it's not. He puts plenty of his stuff out that he wants to be seen the way that he wants it to be seen. See Wu-Tang on Hulu. See Ray talking about it with Joe Rogan, which is actually the next subject that we're going to dump into, guys. Ray went on Joe Rogan last week to start off the new year. Ray got a new album coming called The Emperor's New Clothes, which is based on the old, folklore story, The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Correct? Yep. Yeah, he's doing a twist on this. But what did you guys think of the interview overall? Sean, kick it off.
I think it was a dope interview. Joe Rogan is a very unorthodox interviewer. He's such a fan,
but it works,
and it works because he does research, and sometimes the interview turned into him just having a conversation with the artist.
Yes,
and they're educating each other on different timelines, different portions of hip hop. So I thought it was really dope to kick off the year with Ray. He got Ray in a comfortable position to talk about different things. It wasn't your average interview. I've seen many interviews with Ray, and it turns out to be like an interrogation because you got like 1,000 questions you want to ask about the clan and about him. But Joe had a real conversation with him. That was dope.
AG, what you think?
I'm with Sean. Like Joe, he gets it, right? You know what I mean? He's not somebody who you would consider other culture and hip hop or whatever, but dude is a fan for real. Like I've heard him wax poetic about, Wu-Tang, NWA, Nas, like, you know what I'm saying? Dude is a fan for real. But when he has those guests on his show, he gets it. He does his homework. He does his research, even to the point where the guest is taken aback. Like, oh, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know you were going to ask me that, or I didn't know you knew about that. So, it was a very interesting interview. I think Joe Rogan did his thing, and then Ray was candid. You know what I mean? Ray is somebody who, depending on the mood he's in, could be hit or miss with the interview. You know what I'm saying? But but Ray was very candid, man, and I think both of them knocked it out of the park. And I'm looking forward to the new album when it drops.
This is one of the better Ray interviews that I can remember in quite some time, guys. I agree. When I thought about Joe Rogan, he got into such a comfortable conversational dialogue with Ray that I hadn't seen Ray open up like this in a long time in an interview. In a long time. He wasn't even this open like on the Drink Champs interview.
No.
And he felt more comfortable and willing to share his thoughts. And his thoughts were like very well like woven and calculated and thoughtful and articulate and intricate, very much like his rhymes. Right. The way that he was breaking things down, it was one of the better interviews that I've seen in a while. And I was actually thinking to myself, although not technically or I guess, in a lot of ways he is part of this culture, but he isn't with Joe Rogan. But as far as interviews go, the way he like one-on-one makes an artist feel truly comfortable and just like knows his shit, has a hip hop head, but is still able to like wax poetic without coming off as too much of a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he shows the artist that he's a fan of everything else too, not just the person that he's interviewing. He's like, yeah, I get down with your stuff, but I get down with everybody else too. Like when he's playing the Cool G rap stuff. And Ray's like, yo, I never heard that. So that goes to the point, AG, where you're talking about where the interviewer is schooling the interviewee on something. Because Ray's like, I ain't never heard this Ghetto Boy song. I ain't never heard this Cool G rap song. But that's what made me think something about Ray too. Sean, you'll understand this as a Marine. Ray is somebody who thinks he has a trench and a bunker mentality. Mm-hmm. So I can see hip hop wise, while even though, like, you know what I'm saying? You got to think he's playing Ray a Cool G rap song from 1992. No, that's when the clan is taking shape and form. They probably ain't listening to nobody else. Nobody
else. Yeah. And they said that they tuned everybody out.
Right.
They kept it right like regiment. Yeah. They tuned everyone.
I mean, like literally the only dude that they knew around that time was like Ray and Nas. Somehow like it met up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was the only dude really outside the clan that you ever really heard them even talk about. So and Ray probably like encompasses that mentality the most of the crew. But even Joe Rogan knowing stuff like, yo, remember when y'all went to Rikers when ODB was in Rikers? I was like, I was like, Rogan is a head. Because I remember I can remember like the little articles and stuff like about that, like a month after it happened. But it was like a month after it happened, and then it kind of faded away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say, Coop. I'm glad you brought that up because we talked about journalistic writing. We, anytime you talk about guest speaking or anytime you talk about interviewing someone, they say to give a hook. You know what I mean? Like, you want to grab the listener, you want to grab, the person reading the article right out the gate. And I think that, when interviewing Ray, I think that was Rogan's hook. When he came out and was like, yo, I remember when y'all performed at Rikers when ODB was like, damn. Ray was instantly sold. He was on board. The rest of the interview was like super smooth after that because Rogan nailed the hook. He had Ray at that point. And it wasn't on no fake stuff either. He could recount the moment, what year it was, what happened. You know what I'm saying? And like, Ray was even to the point where it's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, how'd you know about that? I almost forgot about that. Like, you know what I mean? This and that. But, I evidently impacted Joe's life where it's something that, he'll never forget. And it was a big moment for him. So to me, that was Joe's hook. And the interview was just smooth sailing after that point.
So we're going to get the Jermaine Johnson super chat because I was actually about to kind of say something to this effect because I don't know if this is problematic, but I think it is something that needs to be briefly discussed, and then we can move to the next topic. Jermaine Johnson, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. The Rogan interview made me say, damn, Elliot Wilson was right. Most of these hip-hop platforms is trash. Gentlemen, I do feel like Joe Rogan just gave a better hip-hop interview of Ray than anybody has in at least the last 10, 15 years. Is that problematic for this culture? That the best interview that we are going to get from an icon and somebody that I have in my personal top 15 all time, and I think that objectively he has top 15 on him, like somebody of his stature in this game, that Joe Rogan is the one that gives him the best interview. Joe Rogan is the one that knows that Wu-Tang went to Rikers. Listen, it's not even that that he went to that Wu-Tang went to Rikers, because that was a known thing. They went while ODB was in there. He knew the details, guys. Is this an indictment on our hip-hop journalistic / podcast / media outlet, whatever it is?
I think so, because I think, okay, you listen to Cam and Mace, and they tell you stories from firsthand to secondhand experience. So those stories have a little bit more punch to it. They're not using the journalistic route where they're digging up information, they're piecing things together like a collage.
Yeah, they're telling you what happened.
They're telling you what really happened. To me, those are the best stories. You hear when Joe was talking about this, Joe was eating that, he was around that. He was around that time. So he grew up seeing that in live time. Think about the stories that we all share, on scene or behind the scenes. And we talk about the things that we experience in different moments. Those stories, you can talk more passionate about those stories because you actually seen it, you lived it, you breathed it. You know what I mean? So it hits a little bit different as opposed to someone like Elliot, who was doing some research or some digging or whatever the case may be. And now he's telling a story from a journalistic perspective. No one want to hear that anymore. It's like reporting the news. We don't want you to report the news anymore. Let's have a conversation about what's really going on, because I want to know the intricate details. I want to know what was going to Rikers Island and ODB's locked up. I want to know that.
You want to know what's going on? People don't want to know the news anymore because the news is now delivered to them. You already have access to the news. You can't avoid the news. And if you don't have the news, somebody around you has the news and is going to give you the news. Hey, Coop, you heard about such and such? Nope, but I have now. You want to know why? Because you knew. Because
it's accessible.
Because the information is literally at our fingertips at all times, 24/7. So there is no more writing about the news. People are trying to make themselves a part of the news. See, but here's where Joe Rogan is successful, and here's why he's not. Joe Rogan's not doing that. Joe is like, I'm a fan, but I'm going to show you that I'm a fan of you and a fan of this culture. That's what a dope-ass journalist is really supposed to do at the end of the day. Like, show you that culturally I'm involved and that I understand and that I get it, so that you give me the goods that I need to deliver to my base so that I eat properly off of this. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he gets it on all levels. And when he delivers an interview like this with one of our icons, it is like kind of an indictment, in my opinion, on all of us. I put myself in that. Like, I tried to get a Ray interview once. I used to work with his sister. I couldn't get the Ray interview. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm seeing Joe execute the interview and some of the stuff he was doing and the way he had Ray comfortable, I was even questioning myself. I was like, damn, could I do that?
Yep, that was an excellent excellent super chat question. But I'm gonna go a different route. Just kind of thinking about what you all were saying. I'm gonna say the indictment. You said all of us, Coop. I'm gonna put the indictment on us as the fans. The reason being is because, we're waxing poetic about this Joe Rogan interview, and it deserves that. But it's been a lot of times where our artists don't go to hip hop publications, go to a white publication or something that we not consider other culture in hip hop, and then we up in arms about it, and we say, yo, why they go over there instead of coming over here? But if that publication or interviewer is putting out a better product, then why not? You know what I'm saying? We got to be consistent. Like, don't you want the final result to be the best that it can be, or your artists that you know love and support get the most shine or whatever, yeah, they should be helping out homegrown hip hop platforms. Yeah. But if they could put out a better product somewhere else, if the other platform is going to do more research and, you know, put forth, you know, a better effort in the interview, then I say why not? But we got to be consistent in that, because a lot of times, you know, we play both sides of it.
No, I hear what you're saying, AG. I don't mean it like we're not doing our job. I'm just saying, like, it very much came off like a hip hop journalist having a conversation with one of our icons. And when our quote unquote hip hop writers slash media personalities do those types of interviews, sometimes it comes off like they're just trying to ask the hot questions
Mm-hmm.
to go viral, and that
Exactly.
the person themselves are in positioning themselves to be the star just as much as the person that they are interviewing. And this interview gave off none of that shit, and it felt refreshing. And I think that's the thing. That's where I'm saying it feels like an indictment a little bit, because it's like, oh, well, it's like this feels like a little bit more of a refreshing interview in terms of the perspective being offered. And why aren't my other hip hop journalists that were there around the same time Joe Rogan was, because they're around the same age that he is?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm
So,
just saying let's judge the product off its own merit. You know what I mean? Because if it works, then it's all good. Like, because Joe Rogan, he knocked it out of the park. But say if somebody, you know, I'm just throwing Rolling Stone out there or whatever, somebody goes over to Rolling Stone and then they put out one of them type interviews like you're talking about, Coop, and then we're like, yo, why did they go over there anyway? They shouldn't even be messing with it. They shouldn't be messing with a hip hop publication. So I just think instead of just saying that as a blanket statement, those other type of publications that may not be of the culture can put out a good product, but let's judge it on its own merit instead of grouping everybody together. Because before this happened, a lot of people wouldn't have thought that Joe Rogan could have produced, like, you know, one of these type interviews for one of our greats. So that's what I'm saying.
see, I don't know about that, Joe. He's done some good stuff before. I think this was.
No, we know that people who are tapped in, but I'm just saying the average person
I get
probably would.
The average
You know,
person from our culture probably isn't tapped in to see how many of our icons Joe
exactly.
Rogan has interviewed. Copied. Understood. I did think that there were some interesting things I want to highlight before we slide. You cool with that right quick?
Sure.
I think Joe Rogan with the whole brand new heavies thing and playing the Cool G rap song. I think that and the Rikers thing, AG, were the two big buy-ins. I'm glad that you brought up the Rikers thing, but I think the brand new heavies thing and Ray being put on to a Cool G rap song by Joe Rogan, I think that kind of made Ray sit back and go like, "Oh, okay, like I see you out here." I think Ray referencing the movie Once Upon a Time in America is important, because I feel like the Purple Tape is kind of built like that way.
That's what they built it off of. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like the Purple Tape. As soon as he said that, I said, "That's the Purple Tape."
Yeah.
So, like, for those that haven't watched Once Upon a Time in America, I mean, he made some Scarface references a couple of times, but I think his motif as a writer is based off when he even said, "I'm into telling stories" around this time when he's talking about making Cream. I think that's that Once Upon a Time in America. It's that slow woven, intricate story. That's what he specializes in. It's one of his specialties as a writer. When he's breaking down the Wu-Tang and explaining how, like, the Wu-Tang got kicked out of Shaolin, like they were wild, they were the rebels, and how RZA based the whole thing actually on the Shaolin versus Wu-Tang movie, which actually ended up being the name of one of Ray's albums. I thought that was very insightful. Ray likes Billy Joel. Most of our rap icons,
as he should.
Billy Joel's great, by the way. Shout out to Andrew for putting me on the more Billy Joel stuff.
Andrew.
You know, most of our icons in this sphere listen to stuff outside of this sphere and admire other people outside of this sphere. So I thought that was encouraging to hear from somebody like Ray, because I think that's the type of thing that makes the people who follow Ray maybe want to expand their musical ear. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
Last but not least, when he said the beat is everything. When he said the beat is everything, I'm thinking, like, this is one of our best, like, lyricists and storytellers saying, like, "Oh, no, it don't work if, like, the beat don't don't work with it. I think that's just something that like we need to keep in mind about how much the beat matters. And also too, it's a group effort. When he's bringing up the Cream verse, he's talking about Raid and Meth, like the dude from their neighborhood, Raid, who ended up going to prison, I guess, by the time the
Raider
song.
Ruckus.
Raider Ruckus. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about that moment and how Cream came together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about that Tom and Jerry moment. Like most of these moments, they just come from like here's why people understand this. Not calling it the hood. Here's why like the black neighborhood and the diaspora of it is so important. The intangible and inherent ideas that come out of it when he's explaining it and telling you these stories about how it's happening. You know, it's not on some like, oh, we sat down and just thought of it. It's conversational. It's happening live. He's like, Cream, why are you calling it Cream? You know, Tom and Jerry with the sandwich stacked up where he put the cream on it. I want all that. Like he's saying, like, I want that big fat sandwich. You know what I'm saying? I want to eat good. I want all the cream. You know, like that's a moment that's happening live. Like that's real life. Like that's where the inspiration for it comes from. If you're not living in those circumstances, that inspiration doesn't exist. So he's explaining like how the poetry really comes to life. It was a beautiful thing, gentlemen. It really, really was. The Q-Tip and Leo DiCaprio thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that story before. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Jizza turning down the Juice Crew.
That was wild. Yeah.
ODB wanted to be Biz Markie. Ray essentially doing the video treatment to Triumph with RZA. There were jewels all over this one.
Mm-hmm.
There were jewels all over this one. Okay. Had a great time with that one, gentlemen. We're gonna slide to the next topic. We got new music down here in the A. Lil Baby. Wham. Who Hard Is Me?
Pause. That's crazy. You said,
I was about to say big pause.
And you said that shit like so effortlessly.
Well, let's not extrapolate upon it further. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. Let's not do that.
Don't even use the word strap. Like,
That's why I don't say anything. That's why
extract. Super chats before we go any further. We need a break. We need a real pause. No, we need a real pause. We need a real pause for the super chats. Raising Head, $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Raising Head. Could you all give your top 3 hip hop interviews? Doggy, Diamonds, Petey Crack interview is high on my list. Raekwon, Crash Out, Joey in Trouble. Lord Vakai with the $1.99 super chat on that with the Joey and Ray talk. We gonna get to that. Patience is power. We getting to that. AG, what are your thoughts on Wham?
And just on that super chat, that'll take some thinking. We'll have to get back to you on the interviews, man, because man, I'd have to take it back to the Rap City basement or UMTV Rap Days for
I'm
the
thinking
interview.
about that Ice Cube interview that he did when he had the afro, not the Jerry curl interview, but the afro interview.
Yeah. I just seen him on Twitter the other day with a little richer hairstyle. He almost fell out my top 10 for that, man.
Chill out. We don't want to smoke with the Ice Cube.
I saw that, but you know, he was
but Q's my guy, man. I love Q. But yeah, 73 is crazy. But no, Wham. All right, let's talk about that.
Got some Wham from Miss Parker at 73. Go ahead.
I'm
sorry. I didn't mean to say that loud.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna try to say this and not be disrespectful, but I think that Lil Baby's fall off needs to be studied, man. Like
fall off needs to be studied.
Yes. Because dude, you gotta chill with the ice coop.
I'm stirring the old fashioned.
But Lil Baby was supposed to be the next up after, you know, Drake hung it up and stuff. And dude was blazing everything he was on. And me and my son was listening to this album together, and I was just like, we both was just like, man, this is like really not it. And my son alluded to something that I hadn't really thought about, but he was right. He said Lil Baby's better as a feature artist. You know what I'm saying? You check for him, he plays everything he gets on, but he was like, really, for his own projects, they're really not it. Like, I'd rather put on a Gunna album, you know what I'm saying, 10 times over than to put on a Lil Baby project. And this project wasn't really no different. Like the highlight maybe was when 21 said his little bar to Kendrick or whatever, but it really was nothing that I took away from this album after a couple listens that I really rocked with. And I hate to say that because I really thought Lil Baby was next up, a handful of years ago, but I don't think that's the case now, man. He's not on that list of guys that's going to carry the torch, further after this current big three decides to call it quits.
Sean, I'm gonna let you go, AG. I have some notes that are comparable to yours that I'm gonna piggyback off of momentarily, but I'm gonna let Sean go because even though Sean tries to play me as the hater of the show, we all know who
hater.
Is. So go ahead.
Look,
Go ahead.
I thought about this as I was flying home today. I wanted to be very respectful.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
This ain't.
He's a lie. That's a lie. That is such a lie.
I'm gonna tell you like this. This is how I felt when I was listening to it. I'm like, I'm trying to find a reason to give something light on it, and I found myself like thinking to myself, like, man, R&B is dead. That was the most random thought I had, because that's how much I felt about.
I'm wondering what the hell are you talking about?
Exactly. It had nothing to do with Lil Baby album. That's how I felt when I was listening to it. It had nothing to do with the album because I was like, yo, R&B is dead. So I started finding myself listening to some R&B music as I was flying. I stumbled on, remember that song with Zayn and Taylor Swift, I Don't Want to Live Forever? Remember that song?
Yeah.
Yo, Zayn left Earth on that song. But anyhow, that's where I went to. I don't want to live forever because I don't want to be living in pain. And I don't want to feel forever because I just want to keep calling your name till you come back home. That's where I went to after listening to Lil Baby's, honestly. And the only thing that stand out to me was Future verse. And I realized, like, yo, I'm a Future fan. I started. I'm a Future fan, and I wanted to hear more Future after I listened to Zayn and Taylor Swift because I'm like, Lil Baby is done. I don't think he can regain the momentum. He has an album. He has another album coming out. He announced. I think he had 2 more albums coming out that he announced. Right? He's going to do like the joint with Future. We'll see how that goes. And he has something else coming out. But to AG's point, and I'm gonna say this and pass it to you, Cool. He was projected to be the one. Now he's still going to do numbers. I think he's like projected to 130.
Yeah, he is
doing numbers. He's going to do numbers.
Yeah, he is.
So that fan base still supporting him. I don't know if it's the production. I don't know if it's missing something else, but it's just not it, fellas. For me, it's not it. So again, Cool. I know this is the A. You may have a different opinion on it. But I don't know, man. I think AG, you're right. You might have to study that that fall off a little baby, if it was even a fall off.
But that was the most scenic route explanation to get to this is not it.
I'm trying to be better in 2025. Y'all say I hate y'all. I be talking crazy, so I'm trying to do my best.
The R&B, Zayn, Taylor Swift, that's crazy just to get to not to say that.
Yo, they went crazy. They went crazy on that song.
You want to know what?
Went crazy.
Sean, that soliloquy by Sean, we should just call it the long road to hate.
This nigga went through a labyrinth. Sean went to a labyrinth just to hate.
The road not taken. This is the long road to hate. This is the sequel.
Because I didn't want to do it like this.
No, actually, this is the prequel to the sequel. The sequel coming soon because you're gonna hate some more in 2025.
Bro went through a whole labyrinth just to say this ain't it.
Gonna have a whole trilogy and a whole series. Gonna have a box set before.
Oh man, Sam Bowie.
I did it for
somebody Sam Bowie, David Bowie over here.
I did it for Trife and CJ, man.
Yeah. Man. Okay. Shout out to CJ. Okay, we're gonna get to CJ's $5 super chat, and then I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. I hope this dubbed East versus West Part 2 topic is the main event topic and not 7 minutes, as I'm waiting on that topic like the New Year's ball drop. We got you, CJ. Please sit tight. Hey, CJ. Man. A little anxious.
CJ timing our segments.
Right. Breathing exercises, brother. Breathing exercises. Shit. Okay, here's what I think. First off, I want to piggyback some of your dope points, AG. One of my notes was these dudes ostracizing Gunna in Atlanta is hurting the Atlanta music scene. It isn't my overall take of Atlanta music since Gunna came home. I don't care what anybody says. The music in the city has not been as good for these artists down here from this generation, and him not being around has a large part to do with it. Whether you like it, love it, or hate it, if we're talking about the music for this generation, he's the best artist to come out this city. That includes 21 Savage. That includes Lil Baby. That includes a post-prime Thug. Okay?
Yep.
So him not being part of these projects that we've been hearing from 21 and now from Lil Baby, like, no, they got something to do with it. Don't tell me it got nothing to do with it because it don't sound the same.
That's what my son was saying, basically. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't sound the same. And you want to know what really doesn't sound the same? Well, Sean, thank you for asking. I was about to get to it anyway. It's the production. Gunna's the best beat picker too. He's the best hook writer and the best beat picker. You're losing the best beat picker and the best hook writer from not even having Gunna around. It's not even about if he's on the track sometime. It's about having a guy like that around sometime. Like when you're working on your project and you're running stuff back for him, and he's like, no. He's like, no, spit those rhymes, but spit them over that beat.
let me ask you this, Cooper. Are you talking about in the, like, as a comparison, like you talking about the like the Benny and the Conway projects when Westside doesn't, have his fingerprints on those?
No, this is what I mean about the fingerprints of it. I mean it on both sides. I mean it on the artist side and on that side. Not having him around on both sides is problematic.
Okay, I got you.
Even when he is featuring on these albums, some of the higher level songs that are trending, that are moving, that are bangers, guess who's on them?
Yeah.
Not accidental. He's usually doing the hooks on the records.
But is that not a problem within itself? Is that not a problem within itself? Because now you're leaning on one entity to curate a strong sound for the entire region. Is that not a problem?
Everybody has somebody that's a leader in their region. It's just like how about this? Because of Thug and Future's presence, nobody ever really gave it to Gunna like that because of the presence of it. Because here's the thing, you have to understand something. Like when T.I.'s run in the city was over, he gladly told people, it's like, no, Future's like the king now. You know what I'm saying? Future gladly tell you, no, Thug the man now. Because of how all this unfolded, nobody's being like Gunna's the man now. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. If we want to
No,
keep
I'm rocking with what you're saying, Coop, because like, just even with Method Man and his imprint on a lot of the Wu stuff, there's not a Wu album out there that doesn't have Method Man on there that's a classic.
I'm about to say
close to classic.
All the high level classic Wu albums have Method Man on them. Every last
have
one.
Method Man in common, right? So you're kind of saying the same with Gunna. Okay.
And their highest level albums have him featuring like his best stuff is on their best albums. That's not an accident.
Right. I'm rolling. I'm rolling with this. Yeah.
Yeah, Gunna is very much the same way. And AG, you actually took one of my notes. He is very much like Method Man was, because this collective down here, this new era, has been very Wu-Tang-ish in terms of how they have kind of rolled separately, but together and in their little cliques and combos and boom, 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 boom. But he's been the guy that kind of makes it pop. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Very much like Meth. So it's like, how about this? Well, you don't have a purple tape without an ice cream hook and a Meth verse and another Meth hook. No, you don't. You don't have a Liquid Swords without shadow boxing. No, you don't. And that back and forth on Living in the World Today. Is it a classic? Probably. Is it like top 5 in the Purple Tapes case and like top 20 like in Liquid? No, it's not. It's not those things without Meth. That's what's happening to a lot of.
They make a difference.
It makes the difference. It's that icing on top. Because I'll tell you what, this album isn't bad, and this is the next point that I want to bring up, AG, when you talked about him as a feature artist. This, Jeezy's one of my favorite guys. I've been listening to TM 103 a lot lately, and I love 103. But my problem with 103 when it came out, and the reason why I don't hold it as high as The Recession and 101, and why I still say it's his third best album, is because he needed the features to make it pop. The songs that have the features are the best records on 103. And Jeezy used to have a balance where he used to be great with the features and great with the solo shots and could
He
still do
did.
both. And on 103, it was the first time I heard the slippage where I was like, oh, the songs where it's really just you, they're not as strong anymore.
Right.
And even the songs where somebody's singing the hook, it's hit or miss. Like Leave You Alone with Neo, hit. Trapped with Jill Scott, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like some of that happened with this album. The best moments are when he has help, which is Dumb and Dumber with Future and Thug, Redbone with Glow, what's the joint with Trav, Stuff with Trav, like the joint with 21. I used to say that Lil Baby was better than 21. The biggest problem with this project too, outside of the production on the other side of it, is the fact that Lil Baby hadn't gotten any better, guys. Like when I heard him and 21 rapping right next to each other, like 4 years ago, Lil Baby was a better rapper than 21. It's 4 years later,
Yes.
and 21 is clearly a better rapper than Lil Baby if you're putting them right
21
next
has progressed. Yeah.
Yeah, 21, no, 21 is a progress. Lil Baby's flow, delivery, cadence, approach, none of it has improved. Am I wrong in saying that?
I'm
No.
with you. I'm with you.
Ooh, your girl Glorilla mopped him up on that feature.
Sean, you know I got notes over here. How you feel about? I literally I put Sean in parentheses. I said glow strikes again, Sean. I put glow strikes again, Sean. Yeah, I did. It's note number 4. It's note number 3 on here, Sean. I said glow strikes again, Sean. Yes, she do.
She did. She mopped him up on the feature.
She really did. She
Glow
really
know
did.
how to make a banger, man.
Yeah, she mopped him up. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So Thug stunted on you. Future stunted on you.
Future.
Glow stunted on you. 21 stunted on you. Trav, you want to know what Trav is? Here's where Trav is most like Kanye. You going into Trav's world, even if it's your album.
Yeah.
You going with Trav. You going with
Absolutely.
Trav. Trav, like you going with me. Like where we going? You going with me, nigga. It's like it's my album, nigga. Did nobody ask you that? You going with Trav.
Right.
So Trav stunting on him just stylistically wise, because he like, yeah, we still gonna do my shit on your album.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna do me on your album, yeah. We going like that.
But that's a bad place to be in when the best part of your album is like everybody else that's on it and you don't have any shining moments. So
that's the problem. That's the problem.
So it's not. So I'll say this: it's like it's not a bad project, but if he doesn't have these features, I would tell you it's a bad project, and I find that part about it to be problematic.
Yeah. And R&B is dead.
I can't with this dude, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why nobody likes you. I mean,
I'm just saying it's dead, man. R&B is dead.
R&B is dead. Man, let's go to the next topic, unless y'all got something else.
Nah.
All right. So Young Noble from the Outlaws released Euthanasia, a scathing 7-minute and 10-second diss towards the guy that all three of us concur is the greatest MC of all time. Now, I want to be very journalistic with how I approach it, so I'm going to ask a question before we go any further, if I may. Is that okay?
Sure.
Please.
Is this all about a Hennessy line at the end of a rap song? Please tell me please tell me it's something deeper. Please tell me Nas was like at a show in Cali or at one of his cribs in Cali or like at a hotel in Beverly Hills and like they had a run in and it didn't go well and tell me something really happened. Tell me it wasn't the Hennessy line.
If you don't mind, Sean, may I go?
Please.
Okay. He's citing a few things. He's citing the inconsistencies with, people's stories with the incident at Bryant Park, a few days before Pac's death, where Nas and Tupac, met up as generals and, squashed the beef, and they was supposed to take, the disses against Nas off of Machiavelli, yada, yada, yada. It's a lot of different accounts. Snoop has an account, which Nas himself has said, nah, he had it wrong. We've heard the Outlaws account. We've heard Wiz. We've heard Jungle. We've heard Nas. This story has a lot of lore behind this. One of hip hop's more, fabled stories. But at the end of the day, to have an opinion on that and diss somebody behind the events of that, when you was just playing the back and was operating off somebody else's orders, you wasn't one of the generals up in the front, you know what I'm saying, calling the shots. You was just going to operate on somebody else's orders. I think it's just totally asinine, especially to do it 30 years later. And he's citing stuff that Nas said off of, the Cure on King's Disease 1. You know, I saw Pac's belly. You know, I'm not going to say he bit off my chain. I'm paraphrasing because I copied his stomach, you know. So he's saying that Pac had his Machiavelli chain first, which is, if you look at history, it's untrue. I think this started on the Art of Dialogue where they were interviewing Young Noble, and they came to the conclusion that Nas didn't have his QB piece until 1999 when the QB's finest album dropped. But if you go back to 96, was released when? The beginning of July 2000, I'm sorry, the beginning of July 1996. There's a Rap City interview out with Big Les where Destiny is sitting on Nas's lap during the interview. They're at a restaurant. Nas clearly has the QB piece on, and then it was written is going to be released. They're talking about the release of the album. So that's, you know, a moment in time that actually exists that shows that he had this in June or July of 96, and then Pac was killed in September of 96. So Noble is insisting that Nas saw Pac's piece and then, you know, copied him. But that's neither here nor there. But the funny thing is, he lost me at the line. I see through you like pee-pee and doo-doo. That that line right there. We got to use that for the bar seminar.
No, we not. What are you talking about? What are you?
But no, all jokes aside, for this to be 7 minutes and you holding on to this BS for 30 years and you doing this for 7 minutes, that's just insane and crazy to me. And I tried to wrap around my head, why would he do this? Because it's easy to say, okay, he's clout chasing, right? But that's the easy way out.
That's the easy way out. Yep.
But I came into a legitimate answer that I think rings true. And we're going to get to this in a minute. We've seen a resurgence of the West Coast after the Kendrick and Drake battle. And then, you know, some things have awakened with East and West tension. We're going to talk about it. Joey going at the West Coast, some West Coast responding. So why not jump on this wave and diss one of the East Coast most prominent artists, arguably the GOAT? I'm from the, you know what I'm saying? Well, Noble isn't even from the West Coast. Let's get that clear first. He's from Jersey. But he represents.
Hold on, AG. So are you saying that this is some art of war going on right now?
That's the only thing I can come up with. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
Trying to burn the village? They're like, hold on. They're like, since we winning, we gonna burn the village? That's what we're doing? That's what they're doing? That's what the West doing?
That's why it's nasty, because he's from Jersey. But ever since they used to ride with Pac, and I give Outlaws more credit than most people do. Most people didn't even want the Outlaws on them songs back then on Machiavelli and All Eyes on Me. They would fast forward past the Outlaws parts. But
to be honest with you, it hurts the classic status of both of those projects, in my opinion.
Right. But they align themselves with the West Coast, even though they're Jersey cats. So I really think that they're trying to ride this West Coast wave and dissing one of New York's most prominent artists. I think that's what's happening right now, because why else would you be bringing up something so petty after 30 years?
Can I ask you something? Do you think that there is actually a monetary gain to be had for this?
No. And dude, look, he disabled the comments on all his socials, on his YouTube video, on his IG. He did disable the comments. So it's just, listen, think about it. It's almost damn near 30 years addressing an event that's 30 years old, and you tell the person you're addressing they got 24 hours to respond, and you 30 years too late. And then you don't want to take the backlash of your diss record, and you disable comments so the fans can't tell you how they really feel about it. Come on, dog.
Yo, these niggas are super old. They 50 something. Like my first thought was like, real talk, too old to be doing this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And drop the young off your name, bro. Like, you are not Young Noble anymore. I don't even know if you noble. Like you're not neither. You're not young and you're not noble. But this is 30 years after an event that took place. That's just wild to me, bro.
How
That's
about
wild.
this? How about this? If we want to talk about somebody actually making an impact for the West and trying to like checkmate the gate some, then let's talk about like our next topic, which is TDE's Raekwon's LA Leakers freestyle. Because this ain't it. This ain't it.
I really shouldn't have gave it that much attention, but
I'm about to say I don't want to give it any more
Give
energy.
way too much attention.
Yeah, I don't want to give it any more energy. We just gonna slide.
Yeah. Trash.
Okay, so LA Leakers freestyle by TDE's Raekwon. Gentlemen, you mind if I kick this off actually?
Go ahead.
I have some hip hop thoughts before we get into the Ray versus Joey talk. I'm gonna kind of like digress to you all for some of the Ray and Joey talk because I just want to kind of fundamentally go over some things. First of all, I did find this freestyle to be impressive. It is the West sticking their chest out. Like I feel like the West has a battery in his back right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is reflecting in like how the MCs are showing up and showing out right now. I think that's a real thing. It's momentum, just like when we talk about basketball and football and baseball teams and how momentum carries. This is a momentum moment that carries because it's like, oh no, like you can tell he's got the fervor and the fire right now, and that you can tell that the city's on fire and that he's on fire about it, you know? And so I like that part about it. There is something about him as an MC that comes off something like Meek Mill to me, which makes me worry. Like he knows how to ride the beat, but he kind of like raps over the beat. And I don't know if he knows how to rap through the beat yet, but we're going to find out soon. But he is talented. It was impressive.
Do you think that was the selection? Because, I mean, it's over the heart part 6, so.
He chose. You get to choose that stuff. He choosing. He the one that's choosing to it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even talking about the one where he's rapping over the heart part 6. I was really more talking about his approach. And that's where I heard the Meek in it when he was rapping over the Feel It in the Air.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about the joint where he's addressing Joey on the over the heart part 6.
No. I mean, we can get to that part. I kind of wanted to address like kind of some of like the rap part of it because I did hear like you don't see, and the West is shining right now. It does need to be like acknowledged and recognized.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you think about the shots that he took at Joey, like on the hard part 6? And do you think Joey should respond?
I like it. And you know, last episode we talked about weight class, right?
Mm-hmm.
With diss records, and I saw a lot of people responding like, "Yo, we don't want to hear from you. Like, you know, you coming off the bench. We want to hear what Kendrick got to say about what Joey said." But then we spent all last episode debating if Joey was in Kendrick's weight class, right? You know, so as far as we'll get to Daylight in a minute, but as far as like Raekwon and Daylight versus Joey for like, you know, a low-key undercard battle, that's something I would like to see. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, I don't think Kendrick's going to respond.
Hold on, undercard battle to what?
What we just saw with Drake and Kendrick, because I don't think Kendrick responds to this, you know, to what Joey said. So I think this is, you know, the people that's coming out right now. I think that's what we got, you know, to look forward to. A little back and forth with Daylight, Raekwon, Joey, if he responds back.
Because Drake's star shines so bright, the Joey Kendrick thing is still interesting to me only from the perspective that the information that Kendrick probably has access to about Drake, he doesn't have that same access with Joey.
Fair.
And so where is he going to draw the inspiration from? I told you, like I don't care what people say. This post to Pimp a Butterfly has been Kendrick's biggest stroke of inspiration. It's just based on another person and not liking them and them not liking each other for a while now, quite frankly.
Yeah, if you got disdain for somebody.
Right, where you pull your inspiration from, quite frankly, I don't give two fucks about. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I don't care. Because like art is art at the end of the day. Where you pull it from is where you pull it from. And if that's the place you got to pull it from, like it is what it is. All I'm saying is that, well, There's not as much inspirational space and place to pull it from with Joey, because there's not as much access. There's not as much
True.
tread on the tires. There's not as much rumor mill. There's
Yeah.
not much date and kid and girl and
Mhm.
age gossip and all that stuff. So what are you gonna do if Joey really steps to you and makes, like, let's say Joey was to drop something not Stillmatic freestyle level, but comparable, like something that made you go, ooh, be like, oh, that's like something. Remember when you heard the Stillmatic freestyle? It's something that made you go like, that's the Nas that I fuck with.
Yeah.
Like, what if Joey drops a diss record like that where it makes you go, oh no, that's the Joey that's the dude I get down with. Hold on, Kendrick. Like, hold on. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but that door swings both ways, because with the Stillmatic freestyle, it was true disdain for Jay there. We don't know if Joey got true disdain for Kendrick.
He
See,
don't. He never
that's why
said
see,
that. He never said that.
I'm
Right.
going to see. That's why I don't like these new guys as much. Muster some shit up, okay?
But you can't if it's not there.
Yes, you
Like
can.
Jordan with the
That's the thing
LeBron for
about
Smith.
it. Yes, you can. Like, look here.
You can't, because what you're fighting for. Like, honestly, what you going after? Because I'm gonna read off what CJ the Kid just sent me. He said he can't send any more money this week. But he wanna.
Yo, you said more than enough, bro. We appreciate it, for real.
Yeah, we appreciate that, CJ.
CJ, thanks for the 50 piece, man.
Daylight, Raekwon, Jason Martin, Wolf, Stoic, Lit Poppy, Mexican guy with all responses. These are all the artists who has responded to Joey in some capacity. I don't know half of those guys. Really, more than 95% of them, I don't know who they are. And nothing really hits hard. Nothing stands out because it doesn't have that oomph behind it. It doesn't have a real situation behind it. Think about it, guys. When we saw remember the street war battles on the mixtapes, the street tapes, mix wars, all of this wars, and like you have about 4 mixtapes that had nothing but diss records on people going back and forth at each other. It was some oomph behind it. It was some real stuff behind it, because there was some disdain for each other. Either it was on a competitive level or it was on a personal level. Whatever the case may be, like you said, Coop, earlier, you don't have a lot on Joey. I think one of them said, like, you got 24 hours to respond, or maybe he's not going to respond because he's, shooting something for power. That's all you got. That's all you got on Joey, right? So it'd be behooving Joey not to come back out and say, okay, if I threw the bait out there, if it was bait, I need to come out and take everybody out. But specific ones, not Stoic or Little Lady Poppy or whoever, no disrespect, but go after the names that people know across the board. Because if you're not doing that, you're just throwing shots in the wind. And it doesn't mean anything. Hip hop is competitive, but it got to make sense. This doesn't make any sense.
That's why I found the Control verse so fascinating, because to your point, Sean, like, it did seem like shots in the wind, because Kendrick was coming with competitive fervor. He named names that everybody, hold high, marquee names, and none of those marquee names really responded. It was mostly the guys that nobody cared to hear from that took offense and was responding to it. So is that what we're seeing all over again with this, with the responses to Joey?
Absolutely.
Very astute observation.
Everyone's trying to get the jump off now. This is my chance to show that I'm a lyricist, that I can rhyme, because now the spotlight is on me. Because without this, I'm not getting this kind of attention.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Joey is big enough that he's crafted a lane for himself long enough that this move does feel like a more competitive move, because he doesn't really need the clout. He is good where he's at.
Right. He's good. He's a talented guy.
Right. He's got motion, guys. He's got enough going on.
Right. May I ask you this? Do y'all know who Raekwon was before he made this record? Like, do you know a couple of tracks from him? Like, do you know like his catalog?
No,
not deep, but I know who he is.
Yeah, I know who he was. I wasn't like, into his catalog like that, but I know heard him on some.
One of those guys. Hey, Sean, he's one of those guys that if I feel like if I was out in Cali, I would have probably known who he was probably like 2 years ago, probably.
Right. This is the most that anyone probably talk about him.
Yeah.
In any capacity.
Well, mission
Since he
accomplished.
popped.
Mission
But
accomplished.
like you said, it's levels to it. Like we said last show, we was questioning if Joey, is on Kendrick's level to be going to him. So now we, just a week later, questioning is Raekwon on Joey's level to be going to him. So, I mean,
we definitely can't put him on Joey's level just based on a freestyle.
Can't.
But Daylight, on the other hand, Daylight I check for.
But I was about to say, but we didn't think Common was on Cube's level when he made the bitch in you.
That's a very good point.
That's a very good point.
No, we did not. But we found out. We fucked around and we found out. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we all did. Collectively as a hip hop community. We were like, who? We were like, the dude that made I Used to Love Her? It's like, stop playing. Yeah. That guy.
That's bad.
Yeah. All right. You want to know what? Here. Yeah, we're gonna get to the super chats. I kind of feel like this. Remember that scene from The Godfather, where Clemenza is like, like this war is healthy. Like we need to do this like every 7 to 10 years to get the bad blood out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no, like in rap, it's like I kind of was feeling like today. It's like but we kind of need to do this though. Like this is kind like people don't understand. This is based on battling. I don't care. It's based on battling. It was who threw on the best block party.
And I'm good.
Who the best break dancer? Who's the best b-boy? Who's the best graffiti artist? Who's the best DJ? Who's the best MC? It's been competitive fervor from the jump. The whole competitive fervor was created to prevent violence from happening in our communities. That's why I love hip hop so much. Like when I became I've always loved hip hop, but when I was educated on the fact that hip hop from people from New York, like who were there, like from the Bronx, from Brooklyn, from Queens, from Manhattan, from Long Island, from Staten Island, it's like told me like, no, Coop, like that's the shit that we did so that I didn't have to slice a motherfucking neck open with a knife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, no, put the knife down. We about to break dance right now. I seen you up at such and such and such on fucking 4th and fucking or what you know what I'm saying? I think you know how to dance. We dancing this shit out. Put the knife away. That you feel what I'm saying? So the competitive fervor is based on it being like productive and healthy to get all that angst that exists in our community out in a healthy way. We just have to be so mindful of it because of the Biggie and Tupac thing. Because outside of the Biggie and Tupac thing, and briefly with Game and 50, it's actually been healthy. Like there have been instances like there's the 50 job, like there's instances, but that happens in every aspect of music. You know how many of these rock stars have motherfucking partied, did cocaine, fucked the same girls, and fought each other about it? I went to a concert where I paid to see Maxwell and Erykah Badu, and Jill Scott came out because Maxwell had a problem because he felt like Erykah was stealing the show. I said, all of you niggas owe me money. Yeah. These are good seats. I know because I'm sitting next to all the dope boys that I know. That's how I know the seat's good. I want my money.
R&B died when Sean breakdance battled Cisco in the club.
Come on, man. Really? We gonna do that? That's what we doing?
No, that sounds about right. Hey, hold on. All jokes aside, I don't know how we keep on getting to Cisco in this show. You know, Cisco comes into like one of my jobs. I've been taking care of Cisco for years. He's a really, really nice guy.
He is. That's why I keep telling you.
No. I'm not joking or exaggerating when I'm saying that Cisco.
When you see him FaceTime me next time you see him,
knowing your nefarious behavior, that's what I won't be doing. But as far as platinum and multi-platinum selling artists go, one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. Like during Christmas, there'll be years where he'll come through the job, and the people who have like the hourly jobs that don't make as much is like my job. He'll hand all of them like $100 bills for like the holidays and stuff. Like
we humbled him. Yeah.
Let me go over Sean telling himself. But to your point, Coop, to your point though, that's why I like Daylight's response to Joey better. Because
let's get to that briefly.
Yeah, because that was centered more around like he led with love. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I see you, I hear you, but we on the West Coast, we got the belt right now. You know, y'all had it for a time, so you just got to recognize when we have it, or you know, we can square up and battle it out. You know, so Daylight's
Squabble
response
up.
is more, yeah.
Squabble up.
So Daylight's response was more on that tip, like, yo, just you know, tip your cap to us because we got it right now. You know what I mean? Y'all had it. And I show the East Coast love, but you know what I'm saying? Just recognize what we doing. So that's why I like his response better. But you know, and I'm glad y'all alluded to the previous battles where it got out of hand and it becomes coastal. And I gotta take my hat off to Sean. But like
Please
in
don't
the
do that.
earliest stages of the Drake and Kendrick battle, he said like, you know, this was after the Taylor Made freestyle. He's like, I don't like where this is going because this is going to become a West Coast versus, you know, whatever kind of thing. And once those lines are drawn, it gets dicey. So Sean said that months ago, like leading into the summer. And we were here now, right? And you look back at previous battles, like, you know, Big and Pac, you know, it ended tragic the way it did. And you look at other big profile battles, like, you know, Nas and Jay didn't go outside of Queens and Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Because that was battle for New York supremacy and like, you know, their placement all the time. But when you get people from different regions, you get all these people throwing their 2 cents in that don't even really belong. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where
I feel I feel like Nas and Jay's beef is transcendent because it happened right at the moment in time where hip hop had become a multi-million-dollar entity for the MC. As in,
Mhm.
you have a multitude of rappers going multi-platinum for the first time.
Yes.
It's not just a handful of guys. It's like, oh well, no, Nas got multi-platinum plaques. Jay got them. Ja Rule got them. Nelly got them. Ludacris got them. Jeezy got them. T.I. got them. Wayne got them. Game sold 5 million records. 50 sold 10 million records. M selling all these wild records. It was a glorious time. Puff and Bad Boy selling 6-7 million records off No Way Out. Even the Locks going platinum. DMX selling 3, 4, 5 million. You know, like that had never happened before. Like people forget in 1992, the only motherfuckers going multi-platinum, Ice Cube, Snoop, and Dre. Next, Ice Cube, Snoop, and Dre. Ice Cube, Snoop, and Dre, like that whole early mid-90s thing, that 92 to 94, it's like multi-platinum guys.
Another time the West had it.
Like not gold, not platinum, multis, and like I'm selling 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. But are we really mad that the West got it right now? Because that's at a time where they had it then. They had to sit through, you know, the East Coast and in the South having their reign. So if they got it now, it's been 2 decades plus since they had the belt.
Okay, you want to know what's funny about this? And this is what I mean. It's funny that we did this Ray interview and now we're talking about this West thing because let's keep it honest with the West thing. When we're talking about the West, much like when we're talking about like the head, and the head is Kendrick. And Kendrick winning this battle is really the thing that's putting the West over the top with this.
He galvanized them. He galvanized the West. But I told Sean, remember I called you the morning that the Taylor Made freestyle came out, and I said, outside of the AI aspect of it, I said him bringing Pac and Snoop in it, you know, and all that, saying all that stuff about the West Coast was the worst and most stupidest thing he could do. Remember I said that?
He unified them. He helped whatever issues they had. They like push it to the side and say it's time to click up. And you can't have that with a region that still has pride. Because when you think the East Coast, you're only thinking about New York. Where's Eddie Spence? Where's Philly? Philly jump in, right? I mean, you're part of the East Coast. So I mean, it just you got a whole coast, a city at this point, right? Even with Drake. Drake is kind of all over the place. So
Drake's not from New York. Drake's
not
from New York.
Right.
He's all over the place. So it's not like he has like a specific origin, you know, other than, you know, shout out to, you know, Canada or whatever, Toronto. That's about it.
You want to know what it is? But people don't really like talk about this ever. And this is what I mean about how Drake has hip hop tendencies. Well, he spent most of his career rapping over 40 beats. 40 beats are definitely very much RZA and Havoc inspired, guys.
Yeah.
I'd say more Kanye 808s era inspired.
Yeah, because Kanye did to control a lot of that.
Okay,
Because
so that still goes back to RZA to me though.
Yeah, because Kanye off RZA tree. Yeah, so
the sound was so blended that it didn't have an
Like
origin.
the chopped soulful like sample to me, like you know what I'm saying, like the choppiness of it is RZA. So it's like when you're talking like the chopped soul sample that Kanye does well, that's RZA. Like if you're just talking like a horn soul sample, like that's Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? But like if you like we talking about like chopping it and freaking it and like playing with it, that's RZA to me. You know, so even if it is Kanye, it's still like off that RZA tree, and so it's East Coast sounding is what I'm saying.
mhm. But Joey's stance on the West Coast, I think, would be more appropriate if the victim, like you just said, Coop, Drake's not from New York. Drake's from Canada. So Joey's stance, I think, would be more appropriate if, like, the victim was, East Coast rapper.
But that's the thing. Like,
yeah, but that's what I mean about the competitive fervor. It's just like, no, he's from New York and he don't like that shit.
Fair enough.
I liked it. He don't like it. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's because hip hop is like based on that. It's like, no, I don't like that they think that they better than me. Like, what up? Squabble up.
It's not like even in the West Coast, East Coast beat back in the 90s. Pac was the lead.
You don't think Squabble Up is a low key shit talking song to the East Coast though? You don't think it's like a low key, like a little bit of a battle cry Squabble Up?
I've never looked at it like that.
I don't see it like that. I don't think that's Kendrick's intent. I don't think it's
like some of my people like they talking away. It's like, oh nigga, you got a problem? You want squab? You know what I'm saying? So when you saying something like that, when you saying Squabble Up, it's like who they talking Squabble Up to? They ain't talking about other niggas on the West.
But I think Kendrick got too much love for the East Coast to like, you know what I'm saying, be in that mode.
He has a lot of chops in the East. He's not going to do that. He got a lot of chops over there.
This is his most West album, and never understate his West Coast tendencies. His West Coast tendency is his West birth, what is still his best album, in my opinion, in Good Kid, Mad City. His West Coast tendencies are strong when he chooses them.
Well, he does. I mean, he does have.
It's what he does best, in my opinion, guys. Like when he's on his West Coast shit, that's when he's at his best to me.
But to play devil's advocate, I mean, going back to the Control verse, he did spark a little controversy on the East Coast when he said, "I'm the king of New York." You know, he was quoting the Corrupt line. I have both coasts and one in each hand, juggle them both. You know what I'm saying? So he was paraphrasing Corrupt, but a lot of people came at him over that. Did he go at him over that line about being the king of New York back then? So,
yeah. Again, hip hop became too ubiquitous across the nation.
Did you say ubiquitous?
Everything was blurred.
Did you slide ubiquitous in? Did you slide it in? Did you slide it in? Ubiquitous.
My vocabulary is ridiculous sometimes.
That was nice. That was nice. No. That was nice. That was very well woven. I was impressed.
Slang is editorial. You know who that is, Coop?
Explicit material.
See, we progress. See, much like the song, see, we fall down. You just fell down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up.
This is the first time we've seen lines drawn in hip hop because
it needs to happen.
Sound is so blended now. Everything is, even like you said, Coop. This is the first time in a long time that Kendrick made a West Coast sounded album.
Yes, since 2012.
He is the West.
13 years.
Right. We got a bunch of super chats. We got a lot of super chats.
We got a lot of super chats?
Yeah. They're coming through. We got a lot.
It's not just Mad Max said it. There's people better than Mad Max.
No.
Mad Max with the $9.99 super chat. Raekwon diss was weak. He wasn't on beat, and Joey diss was weak because how you use Old Hove and Nas Bar to diss the coast, but sneak diss, laugh my ass off, trash. Okay, see? Wonder why I treat Mad Max the way I do. Stop that. Lord Vakai, $4.99. Juicy J Project, Pat Fit, the Mode 38 Special Graph, Rock, Paper, Scissors, New Hot. Shh. It's a lot. It's a lot that you fit in there, Lord Vakai. We're going to have to break that down. Hold on.
That sounds crazy.
It is. Juicy J, Project Pat, Fit the Mode, 38 Special, Graph, rock, paper, scissors. Okay, that's 2 projects. 2 projects? Sounds like 2 projects. Sounds like Juicy J and Project Pat have a project called Fit the Mode, and 38 Special and Graph have a project
Rock,
called
paper, scissors.
Okay.
All right, good Lord. We up here doing hieroglyphics up in this piece. CJ the Kid, appreciate you, brother. $5 super chat. Company Man said a remix to Ray's Crash Out song. 2 NYC MCs and a female MC to step out for the East. Who do you guys think the female MC is? Last one. Probably Che.
You think it's Shay?
I like
I
Che.
think
She got the chops.
She's the competitive. I like her competitive further because she's the one. She's the one that really like. It's one thing to talk like you're better than a male-dominated specter. It's another thing to really feel that way. She is the female MC that I feel like feels that way the most when she raps. Do you know what I'm saying? Like where she like, I don't care who, like if it's Ransom or Con, like I'm better than all these dudes anyway. Like so, like she's the one that gives that vibe off the most in terms, like for me. So I'm Che.
Scarlet.
Okay.
Can I ask y'all a question? Are we done with super chats?
No, we got
no. We still have more Mad Max, and
you had jump more cool.
We're gonna call it maxing out. What did I jump?
DJ got one at Lord. I pull up. Can you see this?
Oh yeah, Raekwon crash out. Joey is in trouble. Lord Vakai. CJ the Kid. I hope this dubbed East versus West. No. We read that.
You got the one before that, right?
No. The $5 one with CJ the Kid.
I
hope.
Yeah, we read that one before.
We read that one.
Okay, this is the other one.
Yeah, the Company Man. I just read that one. That was was the one where we just talked about the female MCs. So yeah, Mad Max, $9.99. AG, no one in New York standing with Joey, bro. The West can cook him. We don't love Joey like that now. If Pop Smoke was alive and a better wordsmith, or Rocky was more lyrical, yeah, we stand by them, not Joey. Mad Max speaking for the East Coast. East Coast, stand up. Somebody other than Mad Max tell me this shit. Mad Max, West don't have anything. You have to have the sound of hip hop to run it. The South has that still, so they still king. Nobody bumped the West Coast artists like that. Ooh, what do you think about that? Nobody bumps the West Coast artists like that.
No, I think that's changed. I think in 2024 that changed. But that's what I was going to ask you guys.
Mad Max. I feel like the climate's different this year for it.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Like the last time the West was galvanized that I can remember was when Game dropped the documentary in 2005. I know you talked a lot, Coop, about being in Cali when that dropped, but it's almost like they couldn't get behind it as much because 50 Cent is backing that product. So it's still, what I'm saying, not fully West Coast. You got Dre at the helm, you got 50 Cent at the helm, and you got Game rapping like Nas, Jay-Z, and he's mimicking East Coast artists. So do you think like Kendrick just got lightning in a bottle galvanizing the West now behind this album, something that like Game couldn't do as much because it's not as true blue West Coast?
I don't know, bro.
The documentary, AG. And I know I'm not trying to say this so that people are going to call me a hater. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying this. The documentary sounds and feels more West Coast than anything Kendrick has ever made in his life. And that's just what it is and the way it is. And even for what's going on, I will tell you, I was around, I did go to Cali when Section 80 came out, or around the time that it came out. And it was pretty heavy. And it was pretty crazy. But I'm going to tell you what it was crazy about. It was more crazy about people talking about LA feeling like they had an MC that lyrically, MC-wise, could take the crown. And if we're talking lyrically, MC-wise, the only person from the West Coast to ever have the crown lyrically as an MC is Ice Cube. And so the talk about Kendrick that I was receiving when I was in LA around Section 80 had more to do with the fact that they felt like they had a guy much like Ice Cube, that it's like, well, bring me your best East Coast guy because he's just as good as that guy right now. And they hadn't had that. Like, they had Snoop and they've had guys, but Snoop's not the guy for that. Kendrick is a guy for the West, very much like Andre 3000 is for the South, where it's like, oh no, who's your best guy? Because I got a guy that can fuck with him on the mic. So bring it on. That was the talk. When the game shit was on fire, that was about those records being on fire, guys. Those records were on fire like that, and the West was loving and feeling those records. And even though 50 was involved, you can tell Dr. Dre's hands were on that project.
It was crazy.
Start to finish. Even on even the way that some of the records sound, programming wise, from the other artists, it's like, no, the other artists don't normally program their drums that way. No, that's Dre, like, I'm reprogramming those drums, or letting the producer know that we're changing this, or I'm doing this with it. You know what I'm saying? The executive production on the documentary is better than any Kendrick project. And the beats are better than any Kendrick project. And if we're talking about classic songs, it also beats Kendrick on classic songs. I will tell you, Good Kid, Mad City might be a better project than the documentary. It's not by much if it is, and the documentary has the better records.
I think where the difference is, you're talking about the product and the projects, right? I think with Kendrick, and you alluded to it with the Andre 3000 and the South comparison, is more so the person as a representative that, like, okay, everybody can get behind this person, versus Game is not that guy.
Like, how about this? The West getting behind Game has, like, the guy to tote around would be us probably trying to tote around a Cool Breeze or a Killer Mike as our best guy. Like, on the mic. Like, on the mic. It's like, oh no, I know he's
I'm not even talking about rapping. I'm talking about, like, what you represent, like who you know what I'm saying? Is like,
oh no. If we talk about what it represents, the Game's an appropriate representative. What I'm trying to tell you is that the West Coast, like, West Coast niggas low key, like, really do, and I know this from being out there, they like niggas who can rhyme. Like, they like they like their gangster shit, but they like dudes that can rhyme. And
but so, I mean, image wise, because the antics is what I'm getting at. Like, you know what I mean?
The documentary is Game before the antics, though, so you really don't, you know.
They're gonna clash at the same time, because by the time that album dropped, remember, him and 50 had a big falling out, like right at the beginning of the dropout. Because Coop, I think you and I both were in Diego around that same time, because I was in Diego when that album dropped.
And they had him on the dating show and all that stuff. Like, yeah, that was all around that time. Yeah.
Because it was so much storyline around Game. At first it was saying the son of Eazy-E. Then it was saying, like, the protege of Dr. Dre, because they were on different billboards together in Cali when I was out there. And there was a lot of energy around Game. There was a lot of energy. But I also think there was a lot of hesitation because of if you think about that production of the documentary, it doesn't sound like a traditional West Coast album.
There we go.
Yeah. Because you had beats from Just Blaze. You had,
Timbaland. Yeah.
Right. So you had Kanye on there. And those were the singles. Those were the lead singles.
So, but this is what I'm saying. Okay, so okay. Oh no, but that's what they wasn't playing that when we was out there, Sean. They was playing Where I'm From with Nate Dogg.
They were on every channel.
Where I'm from. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. This is what I mean about how the West Coast is different. Where I'm From with Nate Dogg in 2005, when the documentary is dropping, is a dope record on a classic rap album to the hip hop populace as a whole. Right. To the West Coast, it was the shit they was riding around to all day, to the point that they had to put it on the radio.
Every other hour I was hearing that
song. Documentary has a few joints like that. Don't Worry with Mary J. Blige.
Yep.
On the radio in Cali all the time. So when you're talking about those other records, it's like, oh no, those records exist. But I was out there in Cali. Those records was playing, but they was playing the other records too. So Game had about 7-8 records playing on the radio in Cali. And I'm not exaggerating. They was
I believe you. You was out there, so you know.
Listen, Game in 2005 had Dreams, Hate It or Love It, Put You on the Game, How We Do, Higher, Don't Worry, Where I'm From, Those were all playing on the radio in Cali at the same
in
goddamn time.
rotation. In
Yeah.
rotation.
Yes,
He
like
did.
that's what I'm saying. So when people are talking about Kendrick, it's like, oh no, Kendrick got 7 tracks on what album playing in Cali all the time at what? And I'm missing a couple records, guys. I didn't bring up Put You on the Game. That's 8.
Yeah, that joint's a banger. But
Running with Yayo was playing out there. That's 9.
that's on. Those are joints all in rotation on the documentary. But here's what's funny though, because during
9
that time,
records.
my first introduction to the game and the most West Coast sounding record that he was on the East Coast artist record, which was Jim Jones' Certified Gangsters. That was the most West Coast.
Didn't Alchemist do that beat?
I don't know who did the production, but that was the most West Coast sounding thing the game was on, and it was an East Coast artist. You know what I'm saying? But that was West right there, and that was my first introduction in the game to game on Certified Gangsters.
I left Atlanta at the height of Jeezy's buzz and moved to Cali at the height of Game's buzz, and it was virtually no drop off, guys. It was like a different. Like culturally, I had to understand how the buzzes works, but when I look back on it and reflect on it, it was no drop off. And Jeezy's buzz is the biggest buzz Atlanta has ever seen, and that's saying a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying he's the best that ever came out of here, and I love me some Jeezy. But if we want to talk about buzz in this city, oh no, it's Jeezy. Like everybody else, second place. Like Jeezy's buzz in the city was like nothing this city's ever seen. And when I went to Cali and seen the same shit was going on in Game, I was like, damn, he's like Jeezy is out here. That's how I looked at him. I was like, he's like California Jeezy. I was like, I feel like I'm in Cali with Jeezy's people again. And I knew somebody that like knew him, and I had another artist that I was getting down with that I was trying to link with that was from Compton that kind of even sounded like Game. He was influencing the culture. Yeah, it was a real thing. So let's kind of flip to the other side. So we got Drake, this Fighting Irish freestyle that UMG and YouTube is taking down. Sean? Now, although I won Hater of the Year and you were definitely runner-up.
No,
you're runner-up.
Oh,
AG has the Lord in the mountains and the snow of West Virginia on his side. He's gonna be all right.
This nigga, man.
That's right.
Ice King.
Right. But
Ice King.
That's light skin is wild. That's very disrespectful.
It is wild.
Oh man.
But YouTube and UMG are they like in first and second for Hater of the Year for taking Drake shots at LeBron? Like just they like pretty much they were like, oh, you suing us? No. You trying to get money over here on YouTube? No. You trying to run up a check? You gonna get 30, 40, 50 million views and likes.
Money on my time.
You're not gonna make 100 bands on YouTube, nigga. No. We're not giving you Louis Vuitton money. You're not gonna trick off this money on strippers in Colombia.
Absolutely.
No, you're not. You're not gonna do it. We're not giving you anything. What do you think about these hating ass? Ooh, this type of hate. I was like, this is super hate. Like this is corporate hate. I don't know how to corporate hate. I just know how to hate niggas that's in front of me. Like, I hate you, nigga.
Look, man, this is the price you pay.
Corporate hate, Sean, do you hate corporately? You're probably more familiar with this than I am. Like, is this corporate hate going on with UMG and YouTube? This feels like corporate hate. It's very problematic.
Plead the fifth. It feels.
The fact that you're pleading the fifth is more problematic than UMG and YouTube. AG.
They're cannibalizing their own product right now. That's what they're doing. They're cannibalizing their own product because they can still make money off of Drake, but right now everything is on halt. Any project that Drake had coming out that was projected to come out, everything is on pause until the situation blows over or until they come to an agreement or whatever they need to come to an agreement on. Who to say that Bron Camp didn't reach out and say, yo, y'all need to take that down. Like they need to go down. That's something hating ass Bron would do. Take that down, right?
Are we having a hate contest?
I can't stand.
Ooh, this is a real haters ball. We have Drake, LeBron, UMG, and YouTube. We have some of the biggest haters.
The biggest haters.
This is a cornucopia of haters.
All working in concert. Yeah. I think it was dope. I get where Drake is coming from. I don't think nothing Drake can say right now
Haters ball
He's not going to win. No matter what he does right now, it's not going to win.
The haters ball is going to be stellar this year.
It's going to be crazy. Nothing he can do that he can. Nothing
just get
right now.
Sean, you and I might just get honorable mention if these niggas keep hating like this.
You're going to fall to the bottom 10.
Right.
To the bottom 10.
Like, you know how the Heisman show, it's like, they have the top 10 people to qualify, but only the top 4 get to go. We might not be in the top 4 this year.
I don't think so.
This is strong. This hate is strong.
It's crazy. I mean, that's what you do when you go up against a giant.
This hate is Toronto Raptors, Cleveland Cavaliers strong. You understand? Like this is hate.
Between him and Braun, yeah. And I can't stand Braun either.
Braun is so petty. And think about it. Braun is one of the few dudes with more money and power than Drake to actually hate on Drake, and Drake can't do anything about it. Like, Drake has to do something about LeBron hating on him. Like, yo, you got to stop this hate. You blocking what I'm trying to do. Like, see, Drake get to keep it pushing in rap terms. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. It's like, lose a battle, do 20 million streams. Like, that don't mean shit to him. It's like when LeBron's hating on you, it's like, no, he needs to stop some of the hate. Is Drake in the advantageous position? Because I don't think so.
Look, what do you think, AG?
Not when you fucking with LeBron. AG, you fucking with LeBron. He owns teams. He got ownership in other teams.
Yeah, well, with the UMG thing, like Drake can't put out anything. That Party Next Door project is not coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not coming out to this good result.
I told you.
But as far as his freestyle, it's evidently old because he has braids in the in the video from it. He no longer has braids, but I think the video was put out just on the strength of LeBron flexing at his birthday, rapping Kendrick Lamar, Man at the Garden, messing up the lyrics and stuff. So he's like, all right, like let's put this out. Here's the thing with Drake. I'm with Sean. He can't say anything at this point, that he can do no right at this point. And this has been Drake's bag for years. Like these type raps. We actually had a little bit of fun in the Discord. We was, it actually takes talent to do this, to keep the same rhyme scheme for a whole, verse. But we was like writing our own bars in the Discord. It was hilarious. The juxtaposition, pediatrician, what I'm saying? Like,
that's why y'all should stop.
We was going crazy in the Discord. It was hilarious. But
you want to know what? Hold on, AG. I don't want to sidebar you right quick. You want to know what the best bar seminar actually is on like doing that, and keeping it for a whole song?
What was that?
Busta Rhymes on "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See."
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah, that's a very good point. No, it does take talent to do that.
No,
so
that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, but we have fun clowning, and to that point, Drake. And people had the same energy for Port Antonio. I think people are just at a point where we're done with the woe is me bars. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like Drake used to get these bars off years ago when people used to love them. But now the message is the same, but the circumstances have changed. You know what I'm saying? So like him talking about like, feeling a certain way, like he's been stabbed in the back by his friends and all that stuff. Like somebody should tell Drake all these, and he blurs the line between his day ones and his industry friends. Like somebody needs to tell him, like LeBron and whoever else and Rick Ross and all these guys is just friends with him because he was in the industry. They're not day ones. So him releasing a sad song about like everybody stabbing him in the back, nobody wants to hear that right now. You know what I mean? Like,
but that used to be his forte. So what you're saying is that effect has worn off.
Right, because the circumstances have changed. And like I said, people had the same energy for J. Cole. They didn't want to hear, what he had to say on Port Antonio. Like, well, I wouldn't lose a battle. I would have lost friend. Like the woe is me bars, nobody wants to hear that right now.
Nobody wants to hear that happy shit.
Nobody wants to hear it. And, and this is the thing that I struggle with. Why I have a hard time considering this the greatest battle or beef of all time is because all the corny stuff that's aligned with it. You know what I'm saying? Now you got Drake making a whole song, not a whole song, but a song pretty much aimed at LeBron. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I get it. You feel away. That was supposed to be your guy or whatever. But it's just so many corny things surrounding this battle, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We battling, you know what I'm saying? What Nas say, rappers battling non-rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's just corny, man. So like
the beef has been
for every high moment in this battle, it's been an equally high corny moment in this battle.
You want to know what, AG? That's a very astute observation. So with that being said, let's go to our last topic, which is, do we have an East versus West Coast beef brewing, actually?
I think we alluded to that earlier. If it's just on some, like, you know what I'm saying, like you said, squabble up lyrically, like we'll showcase what we got over here versus what y'all got over there, I'm all for it. I'm down for it.
I am too. All right. We're going to wait for Sean to jump back in so our taglines can actually match what we're talking about. The show. Very unreliable.
Always here.
He's here for support.
Queens get the money, my ass.
Gotta give me an adult beverage.
Adult beverage. I could have made you an old fashioned. I got my crystal glass and everything over here. All right. It's all gold. It's all gold. Everything over here when the Notre Dame.
I thought that was the key to the city that the mayor gave you.
Look here, I have a video. There's a video around of the mayor at a wedding where he's doing the old school Atlanta like yeet dance where you. It's dope. It's a dope video. The mayor know how to yeek. The mayor got rhythm.
You have to post that on socials.
No. I'm not gonna do that to the mayor. You see, the mayor is my friend.
Yeah, do that.
I'm not doing that to the mayor. The mayor is my friend. I think the mayor has a great chance to have a great political career that expands beyond this city. And about that, we won't be showing him yeeking. We won't be doing that. These white people will go crazy. You don't know how to act.
See, your fault, AG. Yeah.
I don't know how to act either.
What's my fault?
You had to trigger it.
That's more of those inside shots, like the drag on comment. We gotta work on you. You're still doing the same. You're doing the same shit you were doing last year. You're just being shadier about it.
You don't listen to drag on?
Nobody listens. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. See, you're gonna make it about me.
Drag to the dash. Listen, that's crazy.
East versus West. East versus West. East versus West. No, negative. East versus West. Click, clack. East versus West. AG, finish your points so we can.
Oh no, that's all I had to say. I'm here for it if it's on some lyrical sparring stuff. I put the best up on the West, and Sean brought up a good point. Like we get it twisted when we say East Coast. Everybody just says it's just pretty much New York. You know what I'm saying?
There's Philly.
Yeah, where's Philly?
But they never come to the carpet.
Okay, hey, AG, let me ask you something, and I'm not joking when I say this. You are from West Virginia.
Correct.
Where does Southern hip hop start for you? As somebody that's from West Virginia.
North Carolina. No, Virginia. Sorry, Virginia.
So Clips, Missy, Timberland,
yes,
Skills, all Southern to you.
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like Virginia is where the line bleeds.
Mm-hmm.
Although still Southern, there's the East Coast aesthetic.
It is. And even some North Carolina artists is somewhat of an East Coast aesthetic.
North Carolina and Virginia are very East Coastish. Of all the southern states, Virginia and North Carolina are the most East Coastish. Easy.
But if you think about it, a lot of black people from New York migrate to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you get, you know what I mean?
No, I've told you, Nas had family in North Carolina when I was in high school. Like they worked with my cousin. They worked with Six. Yeah. Ain't Pete Rock and Lil Brother and like all them and Ninth related, like all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of North Carolina, Mississippi, Tennessee ties to New Yorkers, like specifically.
Yeah. But yeah, I consider all that to be South.
I personally like. I'm gonna be honest with you. I usually eat my steak medium rare, like blackened on top, but I like my beef and wrap like well cooked. It's like if your heart ain't in and you're really not about the action, don't give me the action. That's really it for me at the end of the day. Like if you want to entertain me. Like don't like Mayweather Pacquiao me, and it's like do it when you're both past your prime and it's not as entertaining as it should be. One of you got a broke shoulder, one of you not as fast as you used to be. Yes. I'm not getting the real fight that I was supposed to get. Like give me a real fight or don't give me the fight. I'm paying good money. I'm gonna pay good money for a good fight.
But I think the
get
problem
fight.
is
Don't do
it's a
nothing to
Royal
nobody
Rumble.
in real life.
The problem is the Royal Rumble because everybody, you know what I'm saying, coming, like putting
No,
their two
Drake.
cents into it.
That's a good point.
Well, this is what I mean. Part of Drake's failure, even in this battle, I told you, is like addressing everybody else. I told you, Jay was very, very clear. It's like, Prodigy gonna catch the smoke. Nas gonna catch the smoke. The rest of y'all get half a ball. Fuck y'all, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's how great battles are built, though. Jay understood that it's like, no, we're in battle. I need to compartmentalize these things and focus my attention and take these. I need, like, no. You dudes deserve a jab. This dude deserves an uppercut and a right hook combo back to back. I'm boom, boom. I'm sorry, boom, boom.
Well, Sean's Queens. Sean's Queens get the money, so let me ask him as the East Coast representative. Like, are we comfortable? Well, I say we, but are you comfortable with Joey as the East Coast representative in this? Because he's the one that like really stepped forward and was like, okay, this is what we doing.
I'm uncomfortable for you niggas. All right, keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm uncomfortable.
Here's my thing. If you see what the West is doing, they're unified right now. You have the B level, and again, I don't mean this in no disrespect, so maybe reframe that. Let me rephrase that. You have the street level fighters right now, right?
Netflix, the Marvel Netflix.
Marvel Netflix, right? They're still strong, they're still great in their own right. But you have those guys who join the fight. And Kendrick is the big dog. He's the super threat, right? He's a champ. We haven't heard from Game, and I hope we don't. I hope we don't hear from Game at all.
Kendrick's the man right now. Kendrick's the man right now. I'll be even one to tell you. Kendrick's the man right now. He's the champ.
Kendrick he's the one.
Heavyweight champ. He's the heavyweight champ.
I just don't know from not just a New York perspective, but from an East Coast perspective, who's going to step up and step in that ring, because you got some heavy hitters that just don't have the heavy hitter name, right? Because keep in mind, we talked about this before, the social media dictates the victor based on popular vote, right? Mm-hmm. Not everyone is going to gravitate to Joey because Joey doesn't have the popular name that they're looking for right now. Right? No matter what he says, he's going to get a lesser vote because of who he is, because of his name. He doesn't have name.
No. Let me submit something to you, if I may, Sean. That's why sometimes you just gotta whoop a nigga ass. Let me explain something to you. No. Let me explain something to you in boxing terms. When Mike was locked up and Holyfield was champion, there was this guy by the name of Riddick Bowe. And Holyfield was the man. And people really just wanted Tyson to get out and fight Holyfield. But Riddick Bowe came along, and even though Riddick Bowe all time is not the heavyweight fighter that Holyfield is, but he beat Holyfield ass that first time. Yeah, he did. He whooped his ass. Yeah, he did. That first time, I'm telling you, Sean, I'm from the A. Sean, no, Sean, I'm from the A. When all you New York niggas talk that Tyson shit, I'd be like, ain't nobody over here trying to hear that shit, fam. My man whooped your man ass twice.
No, I get it.
Talk to me like that. Like, no. I'm saying that to say, so I can textualize so you understand how much I love Holyfield. Oh no, Riddick Bowe whipped Holyfield ass. And we ain't see that coming. Like nobody in Atlanta and nobody in boxing seen Riddick Bowe beating Holyfield, but he whooped that ass. And that's why I'm saying is like, oh no, it's about the records. If Joey make the record, like tap that ass.
We're saying boxing, he was getting good points.
It's one-on-one competitive sport like boxing. That's why I always make the tennis and boxing analogies, because when it comes down to competitive fervor, no, it's one-on-one.
Not this. Social media is very loud. They will determine the victor before one round comes out. It doesn't matter. Right now, we know what Joey can do. Anybody who knows Joey spit game, they know what he can do. But it doesn't matter if popular.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Boxing is way more objective than hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Can I tell you something? I don't think we've heard the best from Joey. Maybe that's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
We haven't, but I'm saying, would they give him a chance? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Is he going to be afforded the opportunity, even if
Even to your boxing analogy, if it's close, And the person that doesn't have the name recognition, they're going with the boxer who has the name recognition.
No, you want to know what? I'll tell you what. No, I'm going to tell you what. Sean, I'm going to tell you what. You're absolutely right, because I love me some Tupac and I love me some Mobb Deep. And I'll fight to the day that I die that Drop a Gem is 10 times a better diss record than Hit 'Em Up.
Drop a Gem is a masterpiece.
But about Pac's stature versus Mobb Deep's stature, people talk about Hit 'Em Up in the manner that they really should be talking about Drop a Gem on them, and you're absolutely right. Drop a Gem on them, one of the 10 best diss records I ever heard, and I love Pac. It's easy. It's close to top 5 for me.
But stature only doesn't matter in rare anomaly cases where the tide is turned and it's nothing that stature can do about it. We saw it with Kendrick and Drake. We saw it with Jay and Nas. But outside of that, I mean, it's really nothing else you can think of.
Think about this, fellas. Remember when Jay dropped where you dig a hole?
Oh, Cam, yeah.
Went nowhere. But we don't acknowledge it because of name recognition.
Right, because Cam really won that battle. Nobody will ever tell you that Cam beat Jay in a battle. Nobody will ever fix their mouth to say that.
Not playing around. The shots that Cam took at Nas too over the Hate Me Now beat, them was fire too.
It was
Cam
tough.
got down on Nas too.
But Nas came back with fire versus that dig a hole wasn't it for Jay.
That dig a hole wasn't it. And we don't talk about that. We don't.
Nobody acknowledges that. No. And insult to injury, he put out Biter, Not a Writer.
Right.
All right.
And we didn't think that Jay would put something out like that. Right. So I say that to say we can move on. But I say that to say the way this whole thing is shaping up, the popular vote is going to sway to the West right now. They got the momentum. I don't know who's from New York at this point is going to step up. You know, they're saying they're going to be two ladies going to step up. I don't know who that's going to be.
Real talk. Let's talk a numbers game, because that's really how this game really gets dictated now with a lot of things. When you look at the trajectory of the history of this game, I'm not joking when I say this. If you take the BC Boys out of the equation for the East Coast around that time, the West Coast blew the East Coast dudes out of the water numbers wise.
Yes.
And it's happening again. And it's happening again. And it's happening again because hip hop works in cycles, and this is just part of the cycle. So we're going to cycle to the next part of our cycle, which is the Discord dialogues, which is actually some more new versus old in a little bit, because the topic that got chosen this week was the older publications versus the common day new world social media. So, AG, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we talked a lot at length about print media versus the current media that we have with social media last week. So I wanted to put a poll in the Discord dialogues just to kind of figure out, people who've been fans of hip hop for a long time, what were their favorite ways to receive hip hop information. And we voted on print media, which we got the classic magazine publications, The Source, XXL, Vibe, and so on and so forth. And then another choice was the blog era, which blew up. You had All Hip Hop, Hip Hop Game, Nah Right, and things of that. Then you had World Star, those sorts of things. And then the last choice was current social media, where we have the fans have more of a voice, through social media apps like the Twitters, the Discords, and things of that nature. And I'm an old head, but surprisingly, the social media era is what won that vote. And people like to receive their hip hop information through that medium. And I think it's because of that reason. It's because the hip hop fan has a voice that's louder than ever. You know what I'm saying? We say that everybody shouldn't have an opinion, because some people's opinions are just stupid. But now everybody's opinion can be heard on some level, which was to your point, Sean, about, name recognition and, the casual fans and their voices, being a loud majority. So So I found that interesting. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you talked about relics earlier in the show, Sean. I wanted to shout out the old hip hop publications. And even though we cooked Elliot last week, he was the editor in chief of Double XL, which is a classic publication. The Source was a classic publication. And we had other ones out there like Blaze, Rap Pages, and so on and so forth. And can't forget about Bob. But I remember in those eras, the magazine drops were almost damn near as important as the album drops. I mean, I can remember posting up at the you know, whatever supermarket or whatever carried the magazines to get, you know what I'm saying, the news source, so I could go straight to the record report and see what got, you know, a good mic rating, so I could know if I only had so much money, what record I needed to pick up based on their recommendation. So, you know, we're a long way from that now where, you know, we don't rely on somebody else to give us their opinion and their recommendations for us to act on it. We get it instantly in real time. We can interact with one another and talk in real time, like, yo, track 3, you on track 3? What you feeling about this? Blah, 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 through these social media apps. And I just think it's a interesting, you know what I'm saying, dichotomy that we have with that. So,
no, absolutely. I mean, that was our source. That was our source material, no pun intended. We had to go through those publications to understand what was really going on in hip hop, because the thing about it is we weren't getting the information in real time. You know, when we had disc records or any kind of issue that was going on, you had to go pick up the magazine, you had to read on it, and we were actually literally reading, you know, the manuscripts of what was happening out there. It wasn't a blog era at that time. It wasn't people responding in real time or reacting in real time, or you had to really sit with the music, right? And we talk about it all the time. We talk about when we review an album. We review the album in less than 7 days or 6 days of the album release. There's no way you can really give a true assessment of an album in 6 days. You got to sit with it. So when the Source and Double XL was giving those ratings way ahead of time, you know, it was a situation where we had to read their review, understand the review, and it kind of dictated whether we're going to get that album. Honestly, like, if it gave the album a bad rating, we probably stayed away from that album 9 times out of 10, unless we really, really enjoyed that artist.
And Sean, they would have that out for 30 days sometimes, if not longer.
Right. So
they would have time to soak it, digest it, and give us an appropriate review that we could base our opinions on. The problem became, I think what happened was that they had everybody's respect. And I think the Chronic getting 4.5 mics raised everybody's ear at the Source. But it was when Doggy Style got the 4 that everybody that was kind of like, hold on, like, wait. And so that's when it started happening. Illmatic was a good reset, because people forget Illmatic and Doggy Style are less than 6 months apart from their release dates.
Right.
It don't feel that way. It does not feel that way at all.
But we just got through talking about.
You think it's 2 different rap climates? It's the same rap climate.
But Coop, we just got through talking about coastal biases. Yeah. And the Source was a New York publication.
Yeah.
No, and I get that, and so it feels like, well, Snoop's doing 5 million. And Nas is doing 300,000, so we're giving Illmatic 5 mics, and we're giving Doggy Style 4 mics to balance it out, and that's not right. Snoop deserves the 5 mics and the 5 mil, and and I think that's the problem, and that's why give me social media over the old school publications, because for better or for worse, because you're probably going to get the information before you're supposed to get it, at least you're going to get the truth.
And that's fair. And that's exactly, because again, we're talking about an entire coast in relation to a city. You can't forget that. Yes, Snoop did 5 mil. You're talking about an entire coast and everything else supporting that versus a borough or actual city.
But let's be fair. Let's be fair, though. I think we're too hard, because that's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. Because when we say like, "Yo, this did 5 mil," when the review was out, the record hadn't sold yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're going to get some stuff wrong. You know what I mean?
But also too, Hold on. What's my name is already number one on the
That's what I'm
charts.
saying.
True, but it's some revisionist history there though too. You know what I mean?
Doing what 450,000 the first week, being number one 4 weeks straight, being platinum before he was platinum before the year was over. The album dropped the last week in November.
Yeah, but the review was probably already set to print before the album hit shelves, though. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you want to know what it was but listen, because they were East Coast biased, they didn't understand what they were hearing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Now that I can get behind.
I hear you, AG. No, I hear you. I said that based on what you just said. Yes, absolutely. All right, let's get to the last part of our night, gentlemen, which is the press play segment.
Yep. We got a super chat too, cool.
Oh, we got some super chats?
Yep.
I wouldn't spend money with these niggas.
3 more, I think.
Huh.
007.
Oh, 00 still up in the building live? Okay, 00 must be on vacation. He don't stay for the whole show. All right. 007 with the super chat. It's like Nas said in that interview, you got to be in a certain weight class to get in the ring. Kendrick in responding, there's no reason to. I agree. Give him a reason to respond. My Mere Thoughts. What up, My Mere Thoughts? $9.99 with the $10 super chat. Simba versus Joey should be competitive. Yeah, could be. Are you excited about it, though? See, it's not about it being competitive, too. It's about it being exciting and competitive. All the beefs and battles are competitive. Is it exciting? Like Jadakiss, Beanie Siegel. Oh, no, that's exciting.
That's why I kept telling Sean, I don't think that J. Cole versus Kendrick would have been exciting, man, because they too similar.
Happy ass niggas. CJ the Kid with the $5 super chat. Curtis King just dropped his diss to Joey. His diss live to Joey. Where's that female MC at? LOL. Emergency super chat. Stop it, CJ.
See, they don't go. We appreciate the love, but don't go broke. Spend an emergency super chat fund.
CJ, take it.
Go for broke, CJ.
Take a break.
What did CJ harass us? Man, go for broke, CJ.
See, Sean. CJ, what? Don't listen to Sean. It's not how. No,
that's
we're
crazy.
Progress Sean. The press play. We're gonna progress the press play.
CJ be harassing me, man. Who is Curtis King though? Who is Curtis King for real?
I don't know who Curtis is.
Exactly.
Curtis I know is 50.
No one knows. I'm sorry.
Curtis I know is 50. I'm for real. Only Curtis I know is 50.
Yeah. I know.
Curtis.
I know a guy named Curtis. I know
some courtesy, Curtis.
All right, press play, gentlemen, so we can get out of here.
I got you queued up first.
All right, we're gonna be all right. Trina featuring Ludacris. Be all right. Kanye West on the production. Still one of my favorite Kanye beats. I like the motivational thesis behind this. Next, Conway.
You love Trina.
First of all, if somebody has seen Trina in person live and met her before, it's hard not to love Trina. All right. Conway, Jesus Crisis. This is this is one of those verses that actually made me think of the term bar seminar, guys. I'm like, this is such a manifesto. Yeah, no, literally. Me saying bars, me coming up with the phraseology bar seminar comes from the record Jesus Christ is specifically, but around that time. But that was the record where I was like, this is a whole modern day seminar on rhyming and rhyme skills. So shout out to Conway, the machine, for Jesus Christ. Went back in the crate since we've been doing all our Kendrick and Drake talk. We got to talk about our bronze medalist, which would be Cole, who is the feature guest on Pray off Jesus Piece by the Game. When I heard Cole on this record, I thought, first of all, this is a verse of the year contender. But I heard somebody that for the first time, and people have been saying it, I was like, oh no, if he keeps rapping like this, he's going to be the best MC in the game. And so if you haven't heard Pray off Jesus Piece, Game featuring J. Cole.
And it's ironic. We had some game talk earlier, so, you know.
It is ironic how that kind of just happened like that. But yeah, that was part of my list. And last but not least, Nas track, Lil Lost Tapes Love. Papa was a player. I've been thinking about my pops. For those who don't know, my pop's been sick. He's been diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer. Mm-hmm. Cancer is now spread, so now it's stage 4 small intestine cancer. I believe in the power of prayer, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I was actually thinking, I had some family situations going on, and I was like, Pops wouldn't even like that. Pops was a real player. Like, he ain't even emotional like that about it. And it made me think about the Nas song when I was talking to my sister and talking about, well, Pops was a player anyway, you know? So then the Nas Papa was a player came up. Saying some prayers for my family. You know, it's in God's hands at this point, gentlemen.
Yeah,
so,
prayers up for your pops, Coop. Word up.
Real.
Thank you.
Hey, G, you up, my man?
Yeah, the inspiration for my press play, it's like brick cold out here, man. It's like 9 degrees right now where I'm at. It's crazy. And you know, I got some songs that made me think about, you know what I'm saying, wintertime, cold weather, Timberland weather, hoodie weather. And, you know, oddly enough, all these tracks that I got are turning 30 years old this year. So first up, I got Survival of the Fittest by Mobb Deep. Like, when this track comes on, there's no way I don't think about winter, hoodies, Timbs, you know, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just dark, cold, gritty, you know, Havoc on the beat, like, you know, captured all that. And it's one of my top 5 favorite Mobb Deep songs ever. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put that on there. Next up, you know what I'm saying, off the classic Cuban Link album, I got Ice Water with, you know, Raekwon. Listen, when I first, RZA was a fool for this beat, man. Like, this beat, just the way it starts off side B, talking about the actual tape. Talking about the actual tape. Listen,
here.
man.
Look here.
Credit for the scratches.
AG might be my personal favorite Wu-Tang beat, period.
Listen, when this album came out,
Ice Water.
I think these were odd picks, because when I had this album in real time, this and Rainy Days were my favorite records.
Mine
you know
too.
what I'm saying?
Mine too. Those were my 2 favorites.
Yeah,
too.
loved them. And this one, everybody goes off. I know Coop got the Capadonna hate, but everybody go off. I think it's between Ray and Kappa for the best verse.
Kappa had it though.
First of all,
I say Kappa.
I think Ghost has the best verse. And hold on, wait. I'm about to light your life up with something. I love Kappa on this. Kappa stunned on it.
He did, but I thought Ghost was clearly third. I go back and forth between Ray and Cap.
Yeah, it's Cap.
Ghost is the one that set it off.
I think so. Is Cap.
Kingpin, the Black Jesus. I
Cap
know those 2 niggas sniff coke and cause seizures.
It's tough.
It is. And you know the way the beat drop out for Rado.
Peace to Half Moon Caesars. Oh, the bitches in the bleachers. Oh, Go.
Everybody brought it.
How about this? That's the Ghost verse that made me a fan of Ghost. That's my Ghost verse. That's where I become a fan of Ghost.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, I'm liking him on the Purple Tape. I'm feeling the vibe. That's where I was like, yo, he need his own album.
He goes off, but I think Kappa got it on style points. But Ray's verse, the way the beat drop out and RZA does the scratches, crazy.
Hold on. Ray has the best flow on the record.
He does.
Because he catches the scratches and the breakdown at the same time, which is fucking phenomenal.
That was sliding though, man.
This is a perfect track. Everybody, the beats are 10 out of 10. All 3 verses are 10.
All night. I love Ice Water. I can talk
about I hate you picking this because you know I had this. This is my first pick.
Tommy Hill, Ice Rocket. Yo, that joint go crazy. I might play that after we get off the pod.
That whole sample.
Yeah, loved it. And of course, like I talked about how cold it is, I got, you know, I love it when these 2 are on the track together. I got Jizza featuring Inspector Deck on Cold World. Classic track. 2 wordsmiths, just lyrical, like Coop said, bar seminar right here. Love this track.
Hold on. Duel of the Iron Mike or Cold World?
For me, Duel of the Iron and Mike.
Me too. Duel of the Iron Mike.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah. And but that's just because of Dirty. Dirty brings an element that Cold World don't have. You know what I'm saying?
I actually think it's okay. So for me, Duel of the Iron Mike is the most underrated Wu-Tang Posse cut of all time because it's actually Jizza, Deck, Master Killer, and Dirty's on the hook. That's a 4-piece.
It is. And
Posse cut status.
And I would say I like the beat slightly better than Cold World.
Oh, the beat is clearly better than me. I think the bar work is better.
RZA went crazy on the beat.
Yeah. But I mean,
who can withstand our astonishing, punishing stings to the sternum?
Yeah. Hey, you see what it is, but
lock stock seeking for a serum to cure him. That's
Hey.
Master Killer. Master Killer has the third best verse on that song.
I'm glad you got to that, but like, yeah, Liquid Swords turning 30 this year as well, and Cold World is a classic record. So for my last record to represent the cold, I got Glaciers of Ice, and I'm glad you brought up Master Killer Coop because
His best verse.
I would say it's either this or the Mystery of Chess Boxing, one of the two.
It's this.
It's the best verse.
Hold on.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Glaciers verse, the Duel of the Iron Mike verse, and then the chess boxing verse.
Oh, you got Chess Boxing third. Ooh.
I got
this
chess boxing third.
I got this.
Oh, you don't like the? Am I overrating the Duel of the Iron Mike verse?
I got Chess Boxing first, this second, and then Duel of the Iron Mike third.
I got this.
No, Glaciers is first. I'm gonna tell you what.
I got Glaciers
really,
first.
really.
He sounds more polished on this.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. If not for Nas's verse on Verbal Intercourse, you can make an argument that this might be the best verse on the Purple.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The verse.
I think we got
him Jizz and Nas level.
I like this tangent because we got 4 contenders. We got Nas on Verbal Intercourse, we got Master Killer on Glaciers of Ice, and we got Jizza and Deck on Guillotines.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Those are all contenders for best verse on Purple Tape.
No, we got Ray on Incarcerated Scarfaces too.
There you go. Which one? All of them. All of them are like that.
I think it's the second verse. I think it's the second verse for me.
You think so?
I think it's the second verse.
I love all of them equally, to be honest.
I feel that way. It's funny. We're doing the kick in the door thing. That's how I feel about Kick in the Door. It's like pick a verse.
That's my favorite Big song. But yeah, that was our bar seminar for this week.
That's the best bar seminar on that album, actually. If we talking just verse to verse.
But Ray's verse, like, I do this for barbershop niggas in the plaza, catching that, like that joint.
That's the second verse.
Yeah.
No, that's the third verse.
That's the third. Yeah.
It's all up there. It's crazy.
It
like,
is.
how about this? Incarcerated Scarface is like, no, it's up there with like Dead Presidents, Quiet Storm, The World Is Yours. It's like,
and you know what? And that's appropriate because it's his only solo shot on there.
Yeah.
Knowledge God.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
I love Knowledge God.
It wasn't Knowledge God.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And Spot Rushers, three solo joints. Spot Rushers, Knowledge God.
Spot Rushers, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All three classics.
Mm-hmm.
I love the beat to Spot Rushers. A lot of people don't talk about that. I love it.
It's one of the lesser heralded songs on the album.
Yeah.
It is. That's why it's the top 5 rap album. That's why it's top 5 rap album. Well, one of your less heralded songs is Spot Rushers or Knowledge God.
It's crazy.
Good point.
Crazy.
Good point.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamel Arif, man.
All right, Sean, what you got, player?
We'll round it out. For me, AG took my concept. He had 3 of the songs.
First of all, I find that very hard to believe.
Sean.
I find that very hard to believe.
I had to pick I actually seen him a screenshot. I said, dude, you see what I had? Like,
hey, look here. Hey, Sean, I'm not trying to rush you. It's 24:24. It's 4 minutes and 38 seconds left. You have 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
I'm taking my time.
About
my first one.
Playing games.
My first one.
Playing games while the game's going on.
Featuring Kendrick, The City. This is when I felt that Kendrick was a problem because he came through on that last verse and he killed that last verse. So I love The City. And I thought that game did a great job by bringing him along for the ride. But Kendrick killed The City on that joint. Love that joint.
I like that it's getting more game love, though. That's what's up, man. That's dope.
I like game love, man.
I like the growth.
My second one is on Bleak on the Mind Right remix. Yes, the Mind Right remix. And the only reason I picked this one because I thought about, the conversation we was going to have tonight about just, getting into the war. And this was, to me, when Jay and all those guys, Jay and Rockefeller drew the line where, Jay was like, yo, I'm ready for anything now. I'm on my grind right now. I'm the best in the game right now. So whoever wanted, they can get it. And he would diss a lot of people on this. He dissed everybody on this joint. I actually was going at on Harlem World on this. So I love
that for a minute.
And Beans, you got the Broad Street Bully. Shout out to Philly. Beans came through and killed this as well. So
and the beats are hard. The beats hard.
Beans kills everything. Beans kills everything. Beans kills everything.
Everything. My third one, I wanted to go right back to Kendrick. The Ronald Reagan era featuring RZA. We got RZA on that hook. I love this joint. This would actually made me a Kendrick fan. This song, Ronald Reagan era, made me a Kendrick fan. And this is the voice I want to hear Kendrick in. I don't want to hear Kendrick in that weird voice. I don't want to hear him in that that different optic that he uses every now and then. This is the voice I want to hear Kendrick in, the Ronald Reagan era. So I love this.
People don't talk about this track enough.
So man, this is one of those ones for me.
You want to know what? AG, actually agree with you. You're right. When people talk about his greatness and talk about his catalog, this song does get skipped over. It is one of his better songs. It is possibly one of his 20 best songs. Actually, it is one of his best songs.
It's crazy. I don't know how it gets looked over. And I don't know why this song popped up to me. Spaceships. I was in Mississippi this week, and we was riding. My driver had me going into some back roads, and I just put on this song.
Good
and I remember.
Friday?
What's that?
Good Music Friday?
No, this was on the first album. College Dropout.
Oh, is that Spaceship? You niggas know I can't read shit, right? I'm just seeing
Spaceships. And I remember with Spaceships when I first
came
out, I was a recruiting dude when Spaceships came out. And I was listening to this song like every day because I was working my ass off on the Marine Corps recruiting duty. And I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, these kids are getting, I want to fight these kids. Hey, I'm fresh out of the war. Hey. Like, yo, either you want to join or I'm going to pull that blinky out. It was
Sean,
crazy.
You want to know what's funny? I took my first corporate job around the time Spaceships came out, and I was training people like twice my age. And I wasn't mentally like prepared for that, and so Spaceships was kind of like my song. Like what do you say?
If my manager
insults me again, I will be assaulting. After I fuck the manager up, I'm gonna go shorten the register up. I was like, yep, I'm about to do all that.
I had to play this whole album, and I kept going back to this song. I was driving through. My driver was taking us through Bogalusa and Mississippi this week. And I was like just on the open road, man, and just zoning out, just thinking about stuff. And this song right here, I said, man, let's play it one more time, play it one more time. And we just kept playing it over and over, man. But this is when Kanye to me was like one of those ones. Like you knew the guy was talented, and you knew that he had something special.
And not for nothing, like I don't know whatever happened to GLC, but like Kanye, like having them on a lot of his good music stuff in the early era, like Consequence and GLC got some dope rap voices. Both of them, like I
like GLC's voice better than Consequences, but
I think Con's voice cuts through the track very well too. You know, I think they both got dope rap voices
and great pen games. Great pen games.
Consequences pen games nasty.
Yeah. Shout out to Cons. Means get the money.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
That's it, gentlemen. Dope list, Sean.
All right. Make sure you like and subscribe and share to our channel. Follow us everywhere we are. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. Sean, tell them everywhere we are.
Yes, sir. So we
and I'm not talking about like Tinder or Bumble. Like I'm talking about like tell them everywhere we are.
None of that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Not Tinder, Bumble. Like,
we on Black Planet.
We on X.
Yo, remember AG is going
Black kind of X. We're actually on X. Like since it's not called Twitter anymore, we on X. We follow Hip Hop Talks on X.
It's just a white planet.
Look here. First of all, more inside jokes. Look here, AG. You might have been on White Planet. I was on Purple Jesus, bro. Ain't that much of a difference.
AG was on Snow Bunny Planet.
You know about that Purple Jesus, AG. Okay, it's time to get shot off the air. AG,
like a bunny jumping around
like get him off the air. Time to get him off. You got to correct. See, what people don't understand is that after 2.5 hours on air, Sean turns into a gremlin.
So my bad.
We have to get him off the air because we can't afford to repopulate 50 more of this shit. So
we really can't. Yo, shout out to
you see, Sean, don't give him water. Don't give him water after noon. Damn midnight.
What do you mean, cool? Yo, let me get the people out. Shout out to Apple for the major support, for the words of encouragement, wisdom, all of those great things. Thank you all who actually download the shows on Apple. Our Apple subscriptions are there. The numbers are really good on Apple, so we appreciate you guys actually listening to us, to our voices while you're on your Apple devices or what have you. Shout out to Spotify as well, because we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're on We're actually on iHeartRadio as well. So I appreciate all you guys, the love, and thank you for those outlets for having us as well as partners. Thank you to YouTube. We all on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Follow us on Twitter, Hip Hop Talks One on Twitter. And shout out to our Discord. Come and join us on the Discord. Join us on the Facebook. We're everywhere. And we got more to come. We got more to share. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you all for the super chats. Shout out to every one of you. And we out.
Shout
Peace.
out to everybody.
Friend.
Shout out to everybody except for Mad Max. Peace.
Nah, shout out to Mad Max. Queens get the money.
And Fighting Irish.
And again, prayers for all of those who are impacted for the fires in California.
Yes.
And prayers to anyone who's going through anything crazy.
And remember, pray for Coop, because they don't know how to drive down here when there's a quarter inch of snow. Okay, you pray for Coop.
Like about a quarter inch, and we got 18 inches.
That's why we appreciate you.
First of all, sounds like you need to be on a website with a different website with your 18 inches. Peace.
Yo, we out.
We out. Hey, yo.
Like how I took our YouTube money away at the end? All the YouTube money gone.
Everything wiped out.
Just like that. All the ad revenue.
You see, just send that back one more time, just in case it didn't go through.
One moment. It only takes 1 moment.
Yo, CJ, send that gone. Just in case.
I mean, it's better than stealing it like some other people have done. All right.
And we didn't do a whole segment on the LiAngelo Ball thing either. Peace.